Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
White trash fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bois. This is a King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Rusty. Season 4, Episode 7, the Hanksgiving episode. However, on Hulu, it's listed as Happy Hanksgiving.
Happy Hanksgiving.
Yeah,
So there's some
a little bit different.
some incontinuity issues there, I imagine.
So you were telling me before we started that we now have a possible Spanish translator.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
One of the longtime fans of the show reached out to me on YouTube.
Pippi the Sheltie.
Pippi the Sheltie. I'm not sure what she will want to go by for her role, which I'll ask her for that. So what she's going to do is anytime there's a Spanish translation in the show, me and Mike are very obviously not Hispanic. My son is half Hispanic, but I am not Hispanic. So, and he can't speak Spanish either. So.
That's not just inherent.
It's not inherent.
You don't just be born and you know Spanish. Yeah, there's your koozie.
But so she's gonna do like the Peggy translation. So she'll just do like the verbatim Peggy. So whatever nonsense Peggy says, she'll tell us what Peggy's actually saying, and then she'll tell us what Peggy meant to say.
Yeah, I like
so
that
we'll get that dual thing, and then I also had asked her to any relevant tidbits or whatever that she could add to, kind of like Artie does. If there's anything like related to like the Spanish language or the Spanish culture,
we're gonna get to
anything like that.
We're gonna get to like season 5, and we'll have this army of people out there just digging up facts and translations and things for us.
We'll have to have it. We'll have to have a show. It'll be it'll just be like the Peggy Spanish show.
Well, what I'd love to do is like a
Spanish.
I'd love to do like a Zoom call and have everybody on. And then add that to like our Patreon thing where they get to meet all the fact checkers and all the stuff. That'd be cool.
There's a YouTube channel that reached out to me too. What's your? Oh, come on! I can't believe I can't remember everything right now. I was just literally corresponding with him. Well, it's because I correspond with so many people at the moment. His name, What's in My Head podcast.
What's in My Head podcast.
Shout out to them. And what they do is they kind of have like a. He kind of talks about animation, so he's got a King of the Hill. So he got to talk to a King of the Hill director. So he's got a couple of
Alan Jacobson.
Yeah, Alan Jacobson.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to these guys. So, that'd be wonderful.
I've invited him on the show. It's all about just getting scheduling with them. I'll let him know when we record and stuff, and hopefully he gets back. If he gets back to me while we're still sitting here, hopefully we can get him in for the Friday.
Well, I'd love to have him on a Friday, and then I'd love to be on their show.
I
think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I want to be on their show for sure. I need to reach out to him about the animation conversation too, because he's doing something similar to what we're doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's all about.
That looked like a little anime stuff.
Childhood stuff is what he's talking about, like your childhood cartoons, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that makes sense. All right. Season 4, Episode 7, the Hanksgiving episode, or Hanks Thanksgiving, something. I don't know. It's one of those two.
One of them two. The Hanksgiving episode.
No bell, no yell. during the credits
no
because,
yield.
again, not a season finale. We are in the alley with all four. This is a weird little setup here because we've got the smoker, and then you can tell it's cold outside because Hank is in his like generic Dickies Strickland propane jacket.
Yeah.
You know, those real stiff ones that work
Kinda
themselves
like
out over the years.
They're it's kind of like you talking about like the members only jackets?
No.
not that style.
No,
because they had work jackets like that. My dad,
Like, think
one of
of-
the jobs he had it was a members only. Everybody got a members only jacket with the logo or whatever for the company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
like
think-
Carhartt is what
Think
you're
about
thinking of, right?
well,
That kind
yeah,
of material.
not that stiff, but well, you know how when you first get Dickies, they're stiff as
canvas,
cardboard.
'cause they're canvas or whatever, that canvas material.
It's that kind of thing.
Okay.
But he's in that. Bill is in a button-up, like a long sleeve dress button-up.
Yeah.
But it's open, and you can see his wife beater underneath it. Dale is in a folded collar coat. It's like the nicest thing I've ever seen Dale in. And then Boomhauer, of course, I was mixing Blue and Boomhauer. Boomhauer is in a blue button-up over a long john top. So he's got it rolled up, but the long john sleeves are still sticking down. So it's just all to give you the inference that
It's cold.
it's cold. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
November. So
And,
Bill,
and I just want to let everybody know there
Yeah.
are some of them old country guys that if they're standing out somewhere drinking a cold beer, they'll be in them full jumpsuits. Them
Oh,
canvas,
heck yeah.
Them canvas suits. Them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to call them like because they're not made for mechanic work out here. They use them for hunting. It's them big old hunting onesies is what them hunting onesies is what I call
hunting
it.
onesie.
I don't think they would
Love
like that.
No,
The
they would
big-
not
hey,
like that
yeah,
at all.
The big camo onesie. I like your camo onesie.
Or an orange one.
Yeah, the big orange
The
one.
solid orange,
solid
yeah,
orange.
the
yeah.
solid orange hat. Or I like the guys who mix the orange and the camouflage. You know, like an orange hat and camouflage
Yeah,
onesie.
Very fashion forward.
Yeah, very nice stuff. So Hank is taking the top off and checking the smoker, and of course we do get a shot of the propane tank, so we know that he's using propane. Bill says, "Oh, another Thanksgiving with Hank Hill's famous smoked turkey. What can I bring this year, Hank? Straws? Straws." Hank says, "Oh, well, Bill, my family and I, and this turkey, we're all going to Montana for Thanksgiving." And Bill is very dejected. Hank says, "Yeah, see, Peggy and her mom don't always get along. Now Mother Platter's starting to take it out on propane." I don't know how she does that.
Yeah, I don't either.
He says she says she can't get the job done when it comes to smoking a turkey. Well, I'm not going to let that go. So for Peggy's sake, I got to prove her mom wrong.
I gotta ask you this.
Yeah.
As a Texan from Texas, how do you smoke anything without fire, direct fire, and wood or something like that to
Yeah.
create smoke? So is he saying that a liquid smoke, a liquid smoked turkey is better than an actual post oak or something like
When
that?
I first saw it, I thought, well, you could have wood chips that you're igniting and burning with propane at the bottom of the smoker. That's kind of what I thought he was talking about. But you never see him load any wood chips or anything like that.
Right,
Doesn't
it
talk
creates
about what
soot
kind of
and everything.
wood. Or
You
anything.
wouldn't
Yeah.
want to put it directly on a burner like that anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
It would cause soot
You'd want to
buildup,
indirect.
clog up your injector on your.
I built a big smoker in my backyard out of cinder blocks.
But you used wood, right?
Well, I used
mesquite or something.
a heat box. Yeah. In the heat box, I would put all the wood and stuff in. I made the heat box out of metal and the whole thing. It's got a little slide in and out drawer. Had an old shelf, metal shelf that had some racks, and so I used those to divide the place up.
Yeah.
Hadn't used it in years, but I was very proud of myself when I did it. I poured a little concrete.
Oh, you still have
pad
it?
and
It's
did
still in the backyard?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should do some
We should do some
extra
smoking.
content where we
That's
just
right.
sit in your backyard and try to smoke something. When it's a
Base-
lot cooler, by the way.
Yeah.
Actually, today is ridiculous cool. It was like
Today's very nice.
super nice.
Today's very nice. It's been like 100 and something degrees the
15.
last week or so.
Yeah.
And then today it's just overcast, which
I'm
is
delirious
very, very
from
nice.
it. My brain is like half melted right now. I'm
Love
hoping
the
it
overcast.
re-solidifies with the overcast weather.
Yeah, it rolled in yesterday. Wife and I went to Dallas to see one of the kids. They just bought a house, and
congratulations.
these people really are enjoying.
Oh, they're
this
gonna learn.
conversation.
Yeah, they're gonna learn to enjoy it.
Okay, so
Actually, they do enjoy it. Pippi the
I'm
Chelsea
sure, yeah.
said that we've hit a stride. That's just they like that they're hearing stuff about our lives, and they like that.
well, that's cool. Yeah,
I'm neurodivergent, and I take us places and stuff like that have nothing to do with anything.
neurodivergent. I feel like that 20 years ago we called antsy.
Yeah, that's probably what it is called. Yeah.
So he
or
says
ADHD. Yeah.
he says, so for Peggy's sake, I got to prove her mom wrong. Now that doesn't leave this alley, but Peggy's parents wanted to take us to a restaurant for Thanksgiving. Oh
no.
dear God! So all the guys just spit out their beer at the same time
You
when
ever
they hear
feel
that.
sad for people when they say when you're asking them like, "Oh yeah, me and my family heading out to the Golden Corral for Thanksgiving."
You know,
I don't know. I just feel terrible
I think
for those
it's
kind of
the.
people.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I don't really feel terrible for them if they're going as a family. Like if that's their family thing, that's cool if that's what they do as a family. But it's just something depressing about like a guy and his wife just going and sitting at Golden Corral instead of going to a family.
There's something that knocks it down a couple of notches when you use the term Golden Corral. You know, I don't. I think if you told me you were going to a Chinese restaurant at Christmas or something like that, you know, I get that.
Yeah.
When you say we're going to Golden Corral for Thanksgiving, yes, internally I get very, very sad. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I get sad for anybody. Like not even at Thanksgiving. I'm sad for anybody that
I get
decides to
sad
eat
for the
there.
people that
Yeah.
work at Golden Corral, picking up all those chicken bones off the floor. I will never go back to a Golden Corral
Yeah, I'm good.
if I don't have to.
I'll never go to a buffet, I think, ever again in my life.
The last time I went, I got my food from the ginormous buffet, sat down, and there was a pile. And when I say pile, I mean like a pile, like an ant hill pile of chicken bones under my table.
Oh, damn.
It's like, yep,
wild.
I'm done. Thanks. See you
That's
guys.
wild. That's some heathen child sitting there trying to make a chicken bone
That,
for it.
that Golden Corral's been tarnished.
Yeah.
All right, so he says, you know, he's going to take him to a restaurant. The guys are all floored by this. He says, but don't worry. I convinced them to have the meal at their house, and I'm going to go with my standard plan. Cowboys game, dinner at 5, serve dessert in time for Home Alone. Dale says, they broke into the wrong kid's house. Boomhauer is like, hey, man, you got me thinking about dang old Mom Boomhauer, man. I think I'll fly to dang old Miami Beach, man. Talk about blind neighbor's great-great-granddaughter, man. She's 40. I love how he ends it with, she's 40. Bill says, so you're leaving too. I hate Thanksgiving.
I think it's funny that he said that too, because he said great-great-great-granddaughter.
40.
Man, she's 40.
She's
like,
40.
Like they're all going to assume she's young or something. So yeah, oh man, she's 40. That's how old that woman is, though.
That's right.
Yeah. Imagine great being 40.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Man,
so
you gotta
40,
be what, like
probably 60, probably 80,
and
you
then
know?
100. Yeah,
I mean,
she'd
that's
have to
boom,
be
boom, boom,
100.
boom, boom.
Yeah, she'd have to be 100.
That's if you had a kid at 20. Every one of them had a kid at 20.
Yeah.
All right, so we're out in front of Hank's house or in back of Hank's house, and they're packing up the car for the trip. Hank is packing this turkey. Man, this turkey is getting the good treatment here. It's being wrapped in like cellophane or whatever, the plastic wrap. And then it's put into a cushioned box, and then he tapes the box up. I mean, he's guarding it.
This has to be, in the infamous words of Hank Hill, this has to be the most asinine way to transport a turkey. Like, why would they do? Like, I don't understand why it's not like in some styrofoam box with like some type of protection of like ice. Are you going to freeze it? Or
no, he's just going to hold it for like 8 hours or whatever, however long it takes.
And then when they get there, it's going to be filled with bacteria. I don't know.
No, thank you.
This seems like Hank's trying to give. It seems like a biological incident here.
And we don't know. Maybe there's like an ice pad or something at the bottom of the box or whatever, but you certainly don't see it.
Well, I was a kid when I watched this, right?
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, man, that's the most inefficient way I've ever seen anybody try to transport a turkey. Wouldn't you just cook it when you got there? Or
yeah, you would think so.
You're flying from Texas to Montana with a turkey.
It's got to be at least.
You just don't understand Hank Hill.
I don't think Hank Hill understands even what he's doing.
It's got to be
It's
at
one of the
least
most nonsense thing Hank does. Right.
Well, you would
here.
think it's got to be at least a 4-hour trip. You know,
It's been a 4-hour flight. Yeah, I'd imagine a 4-hour flight.
Gotta be.
You're holding the turkey. You probably got about 2 hours before you get on the plane and 2 hours when you get off it before you're out of the airport. So you're talking about a total of like 8-9 hours.
It's a good 8-10 hours probably before you're diving into that turkey.
The damn turkey.
Well, wait, Thanksgiving's the next day, too.
Yeah,
So he's going to take it there and he's going to put it in a refrigerator, I would think.
Yeah, I don't know.
That is really weird.
I think he's trying to get everybody sick.
Anyway, he's packing up the turkey. Let's go, Bobby. It's almost 10 o'clock. With the Dallas traffic, we won't get to the airport till noon, and that flight leaves at 4, with or without us. Of course, Bobby, all he's worried about is the food. So
they are leaving from DFW, right?
Yes.
Very cool. Doing some research.
They are leaving from DFW, but they have to leave from Love eventually. So, yeah. And those are 2 airports in Dallas, Texas. I always fly out of Love anytime I'm flying out of Dallas.
A non-stop flight to just Anywhere in Montana is 3 hours.
3 hours. Okay.
3
Well,
hours. Okay.
That's not quite
So
as
that's
bad.
not quite as bad
Not
as I
quite as
thought,
bad.
yeah.
Maybe they won't die. They'll just be real sick.
Yeah, because Love is good for regional flights and stuff for sure.
I like Love. I like
Yeah.
Love, and I like flying out of Austin, or I like flying out of Love.
I like Austin. Even for international flights, I like
DFW is
flying out of
gigantic.
Austin. Yeah, I don't even do DFW anymore. Anytime we fly international, anything like that, we fly out of Austin now.
Well, we just flew out of DFW and went to Seattle, and then flew
Yeah.
back. And it was, I mean, you talk about a jillion people. Good God.
Yeah, I'd got a
Place
whenever
is huge. But
I-
then you get to Seattle, and it's like 3 times as big.
yeah,
you
whenever
know,
I flew
gigantic.
to England, I took
I can't imagine what like LAX or New York or
no.
JFK are
No,
like.
thank you.
I
Yeah.
went from Austin to Chicago, but Austin has international flights now,
Yeah.
but you always got to do a layover.
Yeah.
They do have direct flights, I think, out of Austin internationally, but I think you got to do layovers.
I'm going to Denver in August for a podcast conference thing. And
Yeah.
I was looking at it this morning. Airlines, you suck because you can do this flight tracker thing where you look up the price and it'll email you every day and tell you what the price is. It's up or it's down or whatever. The one from Frontier, which I've flown Frontier before, it is god awful and scary. It's like, chickens in the aisles and, things like that. It's like those Mexican buses you see, in movies, right? But it's in the air. And so, but I'm looking at it, $88 two-way, right? Round trip, $88 from Dallas, I believe. No, maybe it's Austin to Denver. But then you go in and you start booking it. Oh, it's $79 to carry a bag on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's $70 more to check another bag. Well, it's like, shit, why don't you just tell me what the damn price is?
Don't give me 5 different
Stop
prices.
screwing
Or
around.
like when you order off Amazon, you order something for DVD for $20, and then tax and shipping makes it
Yeah.
$45.
You know what
Yeah,
I do when I travel? I wear 5 pairs of clothes. I'll put on 5 pairs of socks, 5
like that.
pairs of pants, 5 shirts.
He's like that guy from YouTube that put on all the T-shirts.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
got bigger and bigger.
I just wear all the clothes I plan on
I have to
traveling
buy
with.
2 seats, but I got everything I need. So, all right. So they are trying to get out of there. Bobby is sniffing that turkey, just sniffing the box. He goes, the turkey smells good. I can't hold it on my lap to sniff for the ride. He says, turkey rides up front with me away from the rear defroster. I just talked to your grandma, and I went out on a limb and promised moistness and smokiness. That's a lot to promise.
That is a lot to
Right.
promise. Absolutely.
Peggy kicks in and she says, my mother called? Oh, I wanted to tell her I'm going to make my famous Brown Betty. He goes, yeah. She said not to bother. She'll just pick up some Sara Lee. That's a pretty low
That is-
blow
oof.
from your mother.
Yeah.
Peggy says, oh, sure. But I guess if my brother were making the Brown Betty, she'd freaking lick the bowl. And she just shuts the trunk real hard. And then we see Bill standing back there. I guess he's been standing back there this whole time. He's in a suit. He's got his little pork pie hat on. He's got a coat on. He's all ready to go. Bill says, oh, what a coincidence, Hank. I have to go to the Dallas-Fort Worth airport to pick up my uncle who's coming in for Thanksgiving. Hank says, oh, what time's the flight? He goes, well, what time's your flight? He says, 4. He goes, 4. So, he's just making it up. He goes, I can drive you to the airport. Hank says, well, I guess it does save me some time. Which uncle is it? Bill says, Bill. He goes, huh, so you're named after him? I said Stan. So he's just making all this shit up.
Yeah, making it all up.
Yeah.
He just wants to be useful.
But here's my
In a
issue with
useless
this.
way.
Here's my issue with this. Why didn't Hank just go, no, it's okay. We already got the car packed. Thank you for the offer, though. And it's over.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to deal with Bill. Instead, you just go, okay, Bill, drive us to the airport, I guess. And then Luann starts coming out the back sliding glass doors. She goes, okay, Uncle Hank, I'm all ready. My first time seeing Daddy since Mama's second degree assaulted him with a fork. Oh, this is so exciting. She just does her little Luann squeal. Hank says, boy, it sure is. Now, I'd like to keep our airline tickets in the travel caddy, Luann, if you don't mind. So here's the first issue, right? Peggy says, oh, Hank, could I please talk to you for a minute? She takes him aside and she says, Luann does not have a ticket. You were supposed to buy a ticket for the family. He says, that's right. I bought tickets for all 3 members of the Hill family, Hank Hill, Peggy Hill, and Bobby Hill, the Hills. Peggy says, what is the matter with you? As far as Luann knows, you love her and consider her part of the as far as Luann knows, you love her. That's a
pretty fucked
rough
up. Yeah, that's
phrase,
rough.
man. As far as you know, Luann loves her and you consider her part of the family. Do not let her know that you neglected to buy her a ticket. Hank says,
Also,
well,
like, I love how Hank just remembers like one of the main reasons they're even going on
that's
the
right.
damn trip.
That's right. Yeah. Hank says, well, I think she's going to find out when he leave her here. Well, okay, so you're willing to leave Luann there, but you're not willing to tell Bill, fuck off. I mean,
that's the thing is, Luann is more a part of the family they're going to visit than
right.
Hank is because, it's her dad, it's her grandmother, it's her dad's, her dad's mom. So it's like, Hank's a jackass. This has to be a jackass episode for Hank.
And it is kind of a jackass thing that he says. He goes, well, I guess you'll figure it out when we leave her there. It's like, oh, shit, okay. Peggy says, no, sir. You will buy Luann a ticket in the airport, and it's not going to be easy because the day before Thanksgiving is, in my opinion,
one of
the busiest travel days of the year.
Well, not
in her opinion. No, it's a fact.
That's my favorite quote by Peggy is, in my opinion.
In my opinion.
Smack dab in the middle of a known fact.
Nobody gives a crap about
it's
your
like,
opinion.
Well, the sky, in my opinion, is really, really blue.
Here towards the end of the show, towards the end of the episode, we find out, we're always referencing shitty Peggy, right? We find out, it kind of through a little throwaway thing that Hank says, that he knows how crappy she is.
Oh, he knows.
He knows. He just never
He's married
says
to
anything to it.
Well, it's like when you know your wife or something's wrong, you don't point it out.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He knows that she's wrong, but he knows that
I guess, man.
If he don't want no smoke from Peggy, he's gonna have to be quiet.
That's true.
She's not. She is a woman who is outspoken in the household. You know what I'm saying?
Very outspoken.
She'll make a sandwich though.
So she'll make a sandwich. So all the cars are, you get that big line at the airport where you're unloading people, loading, unloading, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they're in the line at the airport. They drive up, and Bill's driving. Hank's in the shotgun. Bobby, Luann, Peggy are in the back, and they're at the unloading. At the airport, they start getting out and say, okay, Bill, this zone's for loading and unloading only. And I can never hear that phrase, loading and unloading only, and not think about the movie Airplane, where the two announcers in the airport start fighting each other over the PA.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, some of you folks who are 100 will remember that.
I don't remember that one. I do remember a movie about a ski resort where a dude fills a cup with shit. I don't remember what movie that was, though.
Oh, that was every movie about a ski resort in the 80s.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think it was an 80s movie about a ski resort.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
We had a lot of millionaires' sons threatening ski resorts, type movies in the 80s.
Well, no, this one was like, it was a ski resort that went to shit because of the frat house type mentality.
Sure.
And somebody comes in to fix the ski resort, and they're getting drug tests from everybody, and they hand this guy a cup, and they say, fill the cup.
Oh, and he shits in it.
And he goes
instead
into the
of
bathroom
pees
and fills it full of shit instead of piss. Yeah.
So as they're driving up, we can see Terminal A's sign. Terminal A at DFW, and I don't know if this is correct or not, but the sign in the show says America West, Lufthansa, American, then Midwest, British Airways, Qantas, Continental, Sun Country, Frontier, TWA, Japan Airlines, United SAS, Korean Air, and U.S. Airways.
Yeah.
Now,
here we go.
Some of those airlines no longer exist.
Yeah, so what he was saying is that
this is from Artie?
This is from Artie. Can I see this? See your notes?
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
from the show, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Qantas is actually spelt wrong on here.
Oh.
The actual
Australian.
spelling is Qantas, Qantas, and they spell it with a U.
Oh.
And he says maybe that was due to some licensing thing.
Could have
and
been.
American West.
If I was spelling Qantas, I would spell it with a U also.
Yeah, I would too.
Maybe it's just
honestly.
an American thing.
Maybe. And then American West was actually the America West. It wasn't with an N. It was just America West.
Okay.
So he was.
So they're probably changing it just a tad.
That's what he said. But British Airways wasn't changed. Frontier wasn't changed. U.S. Airways wasn't changed. So I don't know. That might just be.
I've never heard of Sun Country.
What I'm thinking this kind of thing is whoever was the animator or whatever that was drawing up this particular image.
They just screw it and just
it
wrote
wasn't
a bunch
even.
of stuff.
Yeah, they just put down and their spelling might not have been.
Because it really
great.
doesn't matter. You only need to know two of these, United and TWA, for this episode, because those are really the only ones that are ever referenced.
Oh yeah, and
there's no Southwest here.
Yeah. And then here we go, real quick. He's got a Thanksgiving tidbit for us, since she said the busiest shopping day of the year. So Thanksgiving used to be travel day.
Yeah.
It used to be the last Thursday in November. Now it is the fourth Thursday of November, but I don't know what that. I thought the 4th is the last.
No, that means that every once in a while you get a month that has 5 Thursdays. If the
got you.
first is on a Thursday, and then maybe the 31st would be on a Thursday or something like that.
Yeah. And that's what it says here is that meant that some years would add another week to Christmas shopping season.
Yeah.
And then it says Black Friday has been around since the late 1950s, early 60s, when it was called by the police in Philadelphia who complained about the influx of people coming into the city the day after Thanksgiving. They called it Black Friday due to the issue of crowd control. The New York Times was the first one to ever mention that Black Friday on November 29th, 1975 was the first actual mention of Black Friday.
That's a really good tidbit. Thank you,
That
Artie.
is a tidbit. I appreciate that, Artie, because I
cool.
never knew that.
I didn't know where Black Friday came from.
Because Black Friday, I guess...
I mean, I understood black part of it being that it was like a dangerous day, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And so you, like, I didn't know. So in my mind, Black Friday has just been something that people have just done forever. So it only, like, in your generation, so you have always known Black Friday to be Black Friday, right?
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing here. That's
I want
not
to
far
say,
from it.
What does it say it started?
It says that it started really around the late 50s, early 60s,
Yeah.
but it didn't really get its actual name Black Friday until the New York Times mentions it on November 29th, 75.
That's it. Okay, so that's about right. It takes about 5 years to get from New York to here. So I would say around the start of the 80s, that's about when we started doing Black Friday.
So all the stores in the area started doing deals and stuff like that.
Well, it used to be, now this is going way back. I would go with my mother on the morning after Thanksgiving and stand in line at like 4 a.m. or whatever, because these Black Friday sales, it wasn't just about getting a deal. They treated all the people in line like they would give you gift bags and special food and all kinds. You'd get all this cool stuff for standing in line.
You know what you get nowadays?
A smack in the head.
You get a fist fight with
That's right.
some angry dude trying to get Turbo Man before you.
The last one that I saw that way, I was at a Walmart the day after Thanksgiving, and they had pallets of stuff set out in different parts of the store. And so, like, once an hour, they would open a pallet. Like, they would make an announcement over the PA and then open a pallet. And then whoever gets one, right?
Yeah.
It was a pallet of toasters. And I saw people taking each other down
For toasters?
for these damn toasters.
Well, it's kind of like...
At that moment in my life, I said, I will never do this again.
Yeah. I honestly, Black Friday, I have never... stood in line. I went to a Black Friday sale after the big rushes in the morning, like in the afternoon. I bought one TV on Black Friday sale, and it wasn't even like a big 80-inch crazy TV. I bought a small 32-inch TV just to play video games on. That was all. That was what I got.
I remember our family used to buy a lot of Christmas wrapping paper and stuff because it was all 50% off the next day and things like that.
It reminds me of when Arnold Schwarzenegger and
Jingle All the Way
and Sinbad got into a fight.
Was it Jingle All the Way?
That was Jingle All the Way.
Yeah,
It was Sinbad. He was like a mailman
Turbo
or something
Man.
like that. Yeah,
Turbo Man. Okay.
Was his name Sinbad?
Sinbad.
Was that his name?
Yeah.
That just seems like an odd name. He was the one that played in
his
that.
name.
They say he played in the Genie movie that didn't exist
wasn't
or
in it.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think
right.
it still existed. It's out there. I'm going to find the tape one day.
Yeah, it's Jingle All the Way. Yeah, that shouldn't be hard to find.
No, I meant the one that Sinbad was supposed to be in.
Oh, I got you.
The Genie movie.
Yeah, it's
Shazam or something they call it, and he never played in it.
Yeah, it's like
there was a Shaq movie.
Shabam or it's not
something,
actual Shazam, but it's yeah,
something like that.
All right, so Bill's still in the car, and he goes, "Well, then it's off to see Uncle Stu," and Hank says, "You said Stan." He goes, "Okay, Hank, you win. Stan it is." I mean, like it was a big. Bill gets like such a petulant little child. Okay, so now they're standing in line at Terminal A, and it seems like they're still outside having their bags checked. I don't ever remember it being this way, but I will tell you that this was before the TSA. Right. So now you go to an airport and you got to go through the TSA line and you got to take off your shoes and you got to put your hands above your head and they, scan your crotch.
I got a funny airplane story about my dad. Whenever you're done.
This last time when we went to Seattle, I got stopped because my crotch lit up in the thing. And I was like, I got nothing on my crotch. I don't know. I had my belt off and the whole thing. And so the guy had to pat me down real good. I gave him a tip. It says the Transportation Security Administration is an agency of the United States Department of Homeland Security that has authority over the security transportation systems within the and connecting to the U.S. It was founded in 2001, November of 2001, by George W. Bush and John Mica. He was an American businessman, consultant, and Republican politician who represented Florida's 7th Congressional, Florida's 7th Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives from 93 to 2017.
You see, that's what's wrong with our government right there. How long was he in there for? From 1993 to 2017?
24 years.
That's almost my entire life up to that point.
Well, it
I was 27, and he had been for 24 years. He had been doing that job.
It also says John Mica, American businessman, consultant, and Republican politician. That's all bullshit is what that is.
That's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. But
anyway, that was before the TSA.
I was going to tell my dad's airline story, but I don't know the full details, so I'll tell mine.
Yeah.
So I'll tell my airline story.
Do it.
So 2016, I was on my way back from England, and I had only went with one bag of luggage, but while I was there, my mom had sent stuff back for my brothers and sisters and stuff. So, and then I had bought stuff while I was there. So I had a whole separate bag filled with other stuff.
Yeah.
Well, apparently there's
like going to a conference or something. You bring back all the swag
you just
and all that
bring back
stuff.
a bunch of crap. You know what I mean? Not
stuff
crap.
That
it was souvenirs.
Well,
it was
stuff that you go home and you throw away.
Whiskey bottle. Well, I would know it's whiskey. I wasn't gonna throw that away. I still actually have a good portion of the whiskey left, like a good snooters of them. Yeah, it's Snooters, good stuff. So I'm in line. I'm in Ireland, and what they do is while you're in Dublin, you can go ahead and get your TSA stuff out of the way, all your like customs.
Yeah, that's
so when
nice.
you land in Chicago, you just you're just done. That's it. You don't have to do customs or anything. So I'm in customs in Ireland for the U.S. Customs, and they're like, sir, you've got a lot of you got extra luggage and stuff. It says here you only had one bag left. You're coming back with two.
Sure.
Is there anything questionable or whatever?
Anything you need to declare?
Well, when I come into the United States, I have a green card, so they, it's not like they don't just let me slide through. They got to give me issues. So he pulls me to the side a little bit, and he goes, "Well, we're going to pull you off to this room over here, and we're going to go through your luggage with you." And he said that there's been a high volume of Asians smuggling meat, and he asked me if I was smuggling meat, and I was like, "You said you have an Asian issue with smuggling meat. I'm very obviously not Asian. I mean, if you just want to stop me to search my stuff, you don't have to make up a weird excuse like I've got meat or something." And I was like, "No, dude, I don't have any meat." I was like, "I might have a couple bottles of whiskey, maybe some chocolate or something to take back or something like that, maybe a bag of chips or something." But I was like, "No, there's no meat in there." So he goes through everything, and of course there was nothing in there or whatever. And it was just so odd because he specifically said he could have said anything that he wanted to say about the situation because he was in complete control of it.
He said Asian
but the thing he said is Asians smuggling beef or meat or whatever he said,
really
and it was just so absurd. I just was like, "What?"
I have a hard time keeping what I think are jokes in. So if somebody asked me if I was smuggling meat, I think I would have a real hard time with that.
I had probably a very honestly, I had a very hard time with it. When he said smuggling meat, I laughed because I had like 5 jokes. Just quick fire wit ready to throw
just
at him.
patted the inside of my thigh and said, "I am," or whatever.
Or scratch down by your ankle or something.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so the guys at the curb are asking them, if their bags have been in their possession the whole time and all that stuff. So the guy says, "Did you pack your own bags and have they been in your sight at all times?" Hank says, "Well, I had to set them on the curb when I unloaded them from the trunk." Damn, Hank, take a cue, man. The guy says, "But they were in your sight." He goes, "No, I had my back turned." He goes, "But just for a moment." He's trying really hard to get Hank out of this thing. He goes, "Well, I'd say it was more like a minute than a moment." Peggy says, "Oh, for God's sakes, just say they were in your sight." He goes, "Peggy, the man is an official of the United States Airlines. I'd be committing perjury." Okay, Hank, settle down.
That's a little bit. Settle down, but United States Airline does not mean
it's not a thing.
A state airline, brother.
It's not a thing.
Yeah, there's not a state airline here in the United States.
So we kind of transitioned.
Matter of fact, that might actually be a good idea because they have public transit. What if they had public airlines?
No, thank you.
No.
That'd
be god awful.
It transitions to a few minutes later. They're still going through his bags at the curb, which is weird. The other security guy gets it's clean. And then the first pre-TSA guy says, "So just the 2 bags in?" He says, "Yep. And this tank of propane." And he holds it up. Even then, you couldn't take a tank of damn propane on a plane, Hank.
I don't even think you could have one underneath the plane back then.
No. Shit. Remember when all the batteries from the phones were blowing up? Can you imagine if a guy had a tank of propane in there at the same time? It just blows up the entire plane.
Yeah, that's not good.
No.
Well, to be fair,
Yeah.
has Hank ever flown anywhere?
Well, I don't know. Maybe not.
I would assume at this point that
He
Hank
hasn't
is
said it. I mean, he certainly hasn't
We've
said
seen
it.
him drive everywhere.
He's married. Well, he's married to a woman from Montana. I imagine he's probably
That's
flown
true.
out to Montana once or twice.
Maybe.
I wouldn't just go as far to say he'd never been on a plane at this point. I would just go far as to say he's not like one of those people that's super aware.
Oh, he doesn't. I just don't think he travels much at all.
Yeah, he's not super aware
But he-
of maybe some of the travel.
he holds up
rules.
the little
It's
tiny-
like people that take toothpaste and stuff. And
Oh,
they don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
You get to
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
you get to your terminal and they're doing all your TSA
Just
stuff
read,
and they're like,
man. Just
"Hey,
read."
bro, this is a bottle of water. You can't have this on there." And I'm like, "Man, it's water." You're like, "What do you want me to do with it? Drink it?" Like, I don't know. I think
They
some
do.
of it's I think some of it is absurd though. Some of
It
it is
is.
extreme.
It is.
Because there's other countries that don't do all that stuff.
Sure.
If you go to Israel, Israel does not have all that stuff, and they have way more, tumultuous things going on in their country.
That's true.
But what they do over there is they have their airport people. They're all part of the state, part of the Israeli state. And
Right.
everybody that's there, but
Right.
they have over the years have a really good system, and they could just tell. They just pull people out,
Yeah.
and they interrogate
Yeah.
random people, and they're really really good. And that's why they don't have any bombs blown up in their
I
airports.
think if we did that here, people would flip out. Like if we were just randomly pulling people out of line.
Yeah, and they're not doing it any time. They're not doing like, it's not like I mean, I'm sure some of it is, but from what I understand and what I've read about it, and I'm probably reading Zionist material, but it's, they say it's, there's not a lot, it's not like a racial thing. It's like they pull
Yeah.
people out whenever they start looking, they can tell just by physical cues of somebody being nervous or something
Oh,
in
sure.
line.
Sure. So he holds up the tiny tank of propane and he goes, this tank of propane. The guy goes, oh, man. He goes, oh, don't worry. That was in my sight the entire time.
I said Zionist
God.
for the people to get angry.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I knew why that was. So the next thing we see is Hank is locking stuff up in a locker. This reminds me of like a bus station, right, where they give you a key and you lock something up and you take the
They
key
have
with you or whatever.
They have those at the Greyhound.
So you can tell that this is going to come into play later because it shows him putting the key on his key ring. So you knew something was up there. He says he's got Bobby next to him. He goes, they let that woman bring an oxygen tank on the plane, and then Hank, that's a little different. Luann comes running up and goes, ooh, I get to use my junior college ID. She's in line at the United Airlines. She goes, that's me in the picture. I got the giggles because there was 4 girls and she just starts giggling.
Well, now we've all got the giggles.
Hank's like, yeah, well, now we've all got the giggles. You better sit down over there. Yeah, any seats left to Billings? He's asking the airline ticket agent. She goes, yes, sir. That'll be $719. Jeez.
Golly.
Hank says,
That's probably what he paid for all 3 of their
well,
tickets.
he says, what? I paid $250 for my ticket. That's the price I want.
That's almost for 3 tickets. That's almost the price. It's a little more than that, but yeah.
She goes, sir, you bought your ticket 6 months ago. You're buying Miss Platter's ticket on the day of travel. He goes, all right, listen, Miss Platter is traveling to Montana to see her father for Thanksgiving. She hasn't seen him in years. Doesn't that mean anything to your airline? And I mean, that lady behind the thing, she just gives him the blankest stare. Like, it doesn't,
Just
you
like
jackass.
well, that's the thing is I really feel for those people that work in places like that have to
yeah.
deal with
Oh, my God.
some, you think if you're in Chicago, you probably deal with 500,000 people a day.
Oh.
Some of these airline people.
O'Hare or something.
And you just gotta imagine the absurd shit they hear all
just
day
the
long.
stories. And
Hey,
crap.
that's a
Yeah.
podcast. If you work at an
Oh,
airline
yeah.
company and you want
I would
to
love to hear
tell
the
a story,
stories.
I'd love to hear all the stories for sure. That'd be crazy.
So he just sighs and he goes, I'm going to write a personal check. And in the memo, I am writing unfair. Well, it makes no difference to anybody, Hank.
That's funny though. I imagine you're like the guy that's cashing that check. You're like, look at this guy here.
So Dale, the next thing we see is Dale pulling up in front of the Rainy airport. It is raining and it's cold outside. You see him pull up in the Bug-A-Bago. I want to make sure I say that correctly. We've got Redcorn and Joseph in the back. Dale is driving. We've got Nancy shotgun in the Bug-A-Bago.
Why are they in the Bug-A-Bago though? That's what I don't get. Don't they have another vehicle?
Maybe
to
he can
use?
write it off. Maybe it's a tax write-off if he uses it or
Yeah,
something.
Probably.
So Joseph says to John Redcorn, he goes, well, how long are you going to be? Let me do my best, Joseph. Oh, how long are you going to be in Arizona, Mr. Redcorn? John Redcorn says, just for the Thanksgiving weekend. And
Wait, hold on. I want to say you say the Dale part. I want to say this part.
I go
all right.
for it.
Which part?
This whole part right here.
Oh, I'm going to say the Dale part. Hey, do you people celebrate Thanksgiving?
We did once.
I like that.
I double underline the word once.
Yeah, I like that hanging once. Yeah.
So he gets out and he looks back, and him and Nancy catch eyes, and Nancy says to Dale, Shug, maybe I should see John Redcorn to the gate, make sure he gets off all right. Dale, damn, get a clue. Dale says, good idea, sweetheart. Joseph and I will go find a broken meter to park at Bugabago. So now
Nancy's for the streets.
now we're at the United Gate waiting to board. And I do have a photo from the thing. This is United. They are taking flight 126 that departs at 4 p.m. Hank's got his big turkey box with him. So now let's all right, so we're at the gate. You know how you get to the gate and there's all those seats and there's like one or two people up at a little thing there and they make all the announcements and they have to, those are the folks I bet deal with a lot of crap.
Probably so, yeah.
Because you've kind of let your guard down, right?
Yeah, I went ahead and looked up Frontier 126 on Flight Tracker. I don't know what airline they're flying with.
They're flying United.
Oh, they're flying United?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Well, I looked up Frontier.
Gotcha.
So Frontier has a Flight 126, and
literally in quotations next to it says, hold on to your ass.
yeah, hold on to your ass. Baltimore, Maryland to San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Oh, that's a
flight,
very
yeah.
convenient flight. Yeah. That happens all the time. What is that, about a 10-hour flight?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
9:52 a.m. to 1:37 p.m. Oh, that's from time to that's because you're going through time zones. So I don't know what that. I don't know. It's probably 3:45.
Oh, that's not that bad.
There it is,
really.
yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, hello, San Juan. So they're at the United Gate waiting to board. Lou Ann comes up and says, Uncle Hank, a man just asked me if I wanted to join the Mile High Club. Could you get me an application? Hank says, well, I would think they would have them on the plane.
Okay, I looked up United. United was from D.C. to Dublin, Ireland, a 7 hour and 22-minute flight.
7:22, yeah.
There you go. That's at flightaware.com where you can get all of your flight awareness. There you go.
Neither one of them know what the Mile High Club is, which
No.
is amazing
Yeah,
to me.
it's a
Neither one of
euphemism
them.
for
Getting it on.
getting it on a plane.
On a plane. I'm drunk on a plane.
But it would be disgusting to be a part of that club because the only place you have to have sex on a
bathroom.
plane is the bathroom.
Bathroom or your seat.
And if you know anything about airlines or airplanes, it's not like every time they land, they don't
gross.
have somebody come and disinfect and scrub every inch of the plane. At
Maybe
best,
they do now.
Maybe
Maybe the bathrooms. At least.
maybe they squirt some sanitizer and wipe some stuff off. I don't think they're doing in-depth cleans. They're not
Well, they
doing
have
nothing
to-
super
They
in-depth.
have to get that big chunk of frozen blue piss and poop out of it, though, too.
No, they just let that out in flight.
Drop it all
They
out
just
into
drop
the
it,
ocean.
generally over the desert. They found one time,
wonderful.
a guy named Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
All right, so next thing we see is Con at the airport because, of course, everybody's there. Con Men and Connie at the gate. They're dressed to the nines, man. They've got their overcoats and their gloves and their everything. I mean, they are all ready to go.
Yeah.
Hey, Hank, look, man, it's the early birds. He says, hey, Hank, our flight's same time as yours. I saw you leave the house at 10 a.m. We leave 5 hours later. You still waiting, you dumb redneck. Jesus, Con. Hank says, yeah, okay, happy Thanksgiving. He goes, oh, yeah, you too. Just like he just called him a dumb redneck. All right, next thing we see is Hank is on the payphone. This takes you back because there's a whole wall full of payphones.
Whole wall full of payphones.
Yeah.
Last time I saw a wall full of payphones, man, I don't know. I was probably at an airport.
It's been a
probably
long
like
time.
Forever ago.
I can remember phone booths and payphones and all that stuff. Yeah. And
How
then
do
they
you
just
make a phone
disappeared.
call these days if you don't have a cell phone?
You probably have to go to
the
a
flight desk or
landline
something,
that's
yeah.
at the flight desk. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Hank is on the payphone and he goes, okay, mother platter.
Yeah, it's kind of.
We're all
kinda
set
funny.
to board here, so hope
Why is
you're
he
ready.
talking to her?
I
That's
don't
what's
know.
funny is like, do like any of your mother-in-laws that you've had in life? Are you the guy?
Any of my mother-in-laws.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
I know
I
you've
get it,
been
sure.
married a couple times.
Sure.
So, any of the mother-in-laws you've experienced in your life, did you have to like? Did you ever do the communicating?
No.
It was
no,
like, oh,
no.
we're on our way to come hang out with you.
No, screw
Meemaw,
that.
or whatever.
Nope, won't do it now either. It says, okay, mother platter.
What'd you say? Not my pig. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, man. My wife and I just went to Dallas and stayed with one of the kids. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, we're on our way up there. My wife tells me that her stepfather, who is 81 years old and just had a massive stroke, and her sister, who all want her to go on a cruise with them.
Oh, wow.
And she asked me if I wanted to go.
No.
And I said, no, I do not want to. There are only a couple of things in life that I will tell her no about. One is that, because I'm not being trapped in a boat with those folks.
No, I don't mind being trapped on a boat, but I don't want to be trapped on a boat with folks.
If I was just going with her, fine.
Yeah, sign up.
Great.
I'd go 1,000 times over.
That's great.
But yeah, I don't want to sign up for folks.
Okay, and here's the details of that. They don't know where they're going yet. They're just going on a cruise.
Also, they haven't even really defined
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that.
If you haven't already defined where this trip is going and where it's coming back, I don't want to be with you.
Yeah, I'm good.
No,
yeah,
I'm good.
I don't want to do that.
I need an itinerary.
Yeah, I need an itinerary. I need to know all the exits. I need to know the emergency plan in case I have to leave.
And then yesterday I saw a story for the world's largest cruise ship that's about to depart.
Oh, I heard there was also a lot of huge legislation and stuff that's trying to be pushed to curb and stop some of this cruise ship industry.
I don't want to be on the world's largest cruise ship.
I don't want to. I don't either. Like,
Give it a couple of years.
That
I'll
is
go.
going to be the craziest bon voyage in the world. It's going to be like some Titanic stuff, and
Well,
I don't want to
especially-
jinx that for anybody on it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
but,
Especially right after the sub thing that just happened and all that. I mean,
Wait.
this shit comes in threes.
The Antarctic has the potential to do like the funniest thing ever.
What's that?
If it's a dumb modern meme where something you have a headline is like, this has the potential to be the funniest thing ever. If it's just a lone iceberg in the middle of the ocean just
Right.
happens to
Yeah.
pass by.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be tragic, but it'd be really funny.
Well, this damn thing
Poetic
is so
justice.
big that it's. So I'm not a big religious person, but Tower of Babel comes to mind. You know, at some point the
huge.
ship's too damn big.
It
you know?
is, and that's the
It's
thing
an affront to
is
God.
I imagine there's a lot of engineers that went into making it, but
What if
those
it's
things
just going
displace water.
from like what country is making it again?
I don't know.
I'm assuming it's going to be in the
What
US.
would
What
be
if it's just
the-
going from Texas to Florida?
Well, hey, that's a fun fact though for you about cruise ships. None of them are based out of the United States.
Gulf of Mexico.
They
sucks.
base them all out of like Bahamas and stuff like that for tax purposes. So no, there is no. They might dock in the U.S. and like keep the ship in the U.S., but the official business or the official flags on a lot of those ships is Bahamian flags.
One last thing about this type of ship before we go back to planes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it's going just from from Galveston to Cancun?
No.
You get on it then? Not
No
even
thanks.
Then?
No.
Not even that small.
I don't
distance?
even want to go
Nope.
to Cancun because in those kind of places you have to stay on the resort, and I'm not a resort guy. Whenever I travel, I like to be away from all the tourists, and Cancun is not a place you could do that at right
In
now.
my mind, I see this gigantic stacked boat shipping off the first time and just going, bloop, you know, just like it just goes upside down.
Yeah, it looks comical how
that's
big
what
it
happens
is.
in my
It's
head.
just comical.
Okay, so Hank is on this whole stack of payphones, and he goes, "Okay, Mother Platter, we're all set to board here, so hope you're ready to eat some smoked turkey with humble pie for dessert." And then he pauses for a second, and goes, "No, Peggy's still planning on making Brown Betty. Yeah, I was. Never mind. He's still got. Yeah, that's that big ass ship.
It's stupid.
How big is it?
Look at that shit.
How many levels
it's so
is it?
dumb. It's called Icon of the Seas.
Icon of
here
the
we
sea.
go. 365
Meters
long, which I don't know what that is in freedom units. And apparently it's 250,800 metric tons. Again, I don't know how to convert
Tonnes.
that into freedom.
TONNES.
Yeah, tonnies. But
Has
it
the capacity
says,
to hold 5,610 passengers.
Hey, to
Nope.
put that into perspective for people, the world's the United States aircraft carriers hold about 6,000.
Yeah, no,
So
thank you.
that's about how many you got on there.
Yeah, but this thing is stacked- but
This
it's
place has
stacked this way.
8,000 people on it though, because it's got the 5,600 passengers with over 2,300 crew members.
Yeah, it's stacked
Yeah.
this way though. Instead of being longer or whatever, it's all stacked. So again, in my head, it's just bloop. That's what it's
they
going to do.
said
It's just gonna
that
fall over.
it's already done its maiden voyage. They've already done all the proper testing for it, and its first actual launch is from
No,
South
thank
Florida
you.
in 2024. It has a resort getaway, a beach escape, a theme park, 40 ways to
and a
dine,
watery
drink,
grave for all.
7 pools, 9 whirlpools, aqua park,
No.
swim at bar,
No.
arcades.
No,
I don't know. They might got me on
no,
the
thank
arcade.
you. I'm good.
They might got me on
Hey,
the arcade.
Have fun.
I'll pull up for the arcade.
Have fun. I'm
7
now taking
nights.
applications for co-host because he's
There
going to
you
be
go.
on the bottom of the ocean.
The pressure was too much for me to handle.
So he says,
it
while
was
he's
tasteless.
carrying that turkey, and he says he says you're going to eat some humble pie, and apparently Mother Platter doesn't get it, and so anyway, he ends up hanging up. Now the agent at the gate says, "Good afternoon, passengers traveling to Billings. We regret to inform you that bad weather has forced the delay of your flight." Hank is standing right there. You go, "What?" And Luann says, my daddy's on a day pass. He says, excuse me, sir, Hank Hill. I would like to volunteer my services in any way necessary to help get this plane off the ground, so put me to work. That's, Hank, that's not the way things work.
Yeah.
The guy says, sir, crowding me will not get you out any faster. It's sleeting out there, so it's gotten colder, right? He says it's sleeting out there, and the runways are like skating rinks. And then Hank and Luann go over to the monitors. They used to have these big monitors up that would tell you if everything was on time or delayed or whatever, and they see it all start to change. Delayed, 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 delayed. Every flight is delayed. And Luann says, oh, Uncle Hank, they can't delay Thanksgiving, can they? He says, they just did. And that is the first commercial break. We'll take one, and we'll be right back. Well, let me tell you, Rusty, eating healthy used to be a struggle for me, but that was before I discovered the BlendJet 2 portable blender.
The BlendJet 2.
Now, when fast food temptation strikes, I just blend up a delicious and nutritious protein shaker smoothie. You know, they gave us a whole bunch of those little packages that came with the blender.
Yeah.
And there's some really good flavors in there. I mean, there's some like that matcha thing.
The green matcha?
Yeah, those are pretty damn good. BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up smoothies at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even a margarita on the beach. It's small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. Maybe a human thumb. Don't put your thumb in it. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking up the whole house. Lasts for 15 plus blends and recharges quickly via USB-C, which has saved us all. There's nothing worse than turning that USB thing over and over and over and over, and then finally finding how it plugs in, you know?
Oh, yeah. I don't like that
USB-C
either.
saved
Yes,
saved us all.
USB-C saved us all.
Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap, and you're good to go. There's 30 plus colors and patterns to choose from. There's a BlendJet 2 to complement just about any style. We have a pink one? Lavender.
Pink one.
I think ours is lavender. Yeah.
Mine is the Toy Story Aliens.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like the Pizza Planet one.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got some really cool colors, but I really like the patterns. I know one of the people here got one that looks like Woody the Sheriff.
Is there a code with them?
There is a code. What are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. Glab it today.
Glibbity glob.
And when you do glab it, make sure you use the promo code
BWAAA12.
That's to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. No other portable blender on the market comes close to the quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They guarantee you'll love it or your money back. Blend anytime, anywhere with the BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code
BWAAA12
to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever.
BlendJet 2, formerly known as BlendJet.
Hey, everyone. It's me, your puzzle-loving pal. Did you know I was a puzzle-loving pal?
I didn't know you were a puzzle-loving pal.
I got to tell you about my latest obsession. It's Wongo puzzles. These things are the real deal. They are high quality, handcrafted, and perfect for anyone who loves a good challenge but doesn't want to dedicate their entire kitchen table to puzzles for a week. Trust me, I have been there. I will tell you this, my parents, they're very old and decrepit, and they do puzzles all the damn time.
Yeah.
Like there's always a table that
What
has
else are
like
you
an
gonna do,
unfinished
right?
puzzle. Yeah, it's either that or I don't know.
Die.
Feel your bones. So these puzzles, these Wongo puzzles, they are 100% wooden. They'll last forever. Each piece is hand drawn. Just think about that for a second. Each piece is hand drawn, so no two pieces are the same, and you'll discover some fun whimsy pieces as you work through it.
Whimsy.
They come in a custom wooden box, which is perfect for storage and gifting. Before we started doing this, I didn't realize how many people I know already have these Wongo puzzles. I mean, they're apparently pretty.
You can't go wherever Juan go.
With stunning designs and unique shapes, Wongo puzzles are a cut above the rest. I loved doing the snow globe puzzle myself. It was great to pull out a puzzle and be done in a night and not have it on the table for a week. So what are you waiting for? Let's go to Wongo Puzzles, WONGO puzzles.com, and pick a puzzle today. And be sure to use the promo code
BWAAA
for 10% off your order. It's the most fun you'll have with a puzzle, guaranteed, or your money back. Go to WONGO puzzles.com and use your code
BWAAA.
to get 10% off your order and get puzzling right now. All right, and we are back from that commercial break. Rusty has been busy looking up all the weather.
Yeah, I was just looking at some historical weather data.
And now he'll tell us about all the weather from the year 1999.
Wonderground.com. Well, I was going to see if there was any actual inclement weather, if there was any kind of continuity. Maybe the writers had seen that there was a bad weather incident or something and tried to use it for the story. Well, sorry to bust everybody's bubble. There was zero participation. There was zero participation of the clouds.
Precipitation.
Yeah, precipitation. There was zero precipitation.
I just wanted to participate.
And that's in both places. So there was no precipitation the November the 25th, 1999 in either Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport or in the Billings, Montana Airport.
Alternate universe.
But the weather was comparable except for we were 10 degrees in this in Texas. We were 10 degrees warmer in November than Billings. The low was 34 and the high was 47 and the high in Texas was 58 with the low at 43. So it was 10 degrees warmer here.
43 in Texas at Thanksgiving. People are they've got their fireplaces going. They've got 6 coats on.
Yeah, high of 50. Yeah, everybody's outside around the fire. Yeah.
So the next thing we see, Hank is back at the wall of payphones. Bobby's sitting on the ground. Everybody's just kind of crowded around him. He goes, "No, Mother Platter, I'm not calling from the plane. Those phones are for emergencies. We just have a small delay." Which again, that tells you exactly what time it was. Nobody had a phone on them on the plane. Peggy goes, "Hank, I want to make sure my mom has all the ingredients for my Brown Betty, which I have made every year from 1976 until I die." And she shouts into the phone, "Inclusive." She goes, "I will need margarine and not butter." And then you see Mother Platter with a mixing bowl. Now, Mason, this is probably a question for you. Have we seen Mother Platter before now?
I got an answer for him.
This is the first time, right?
So here we go. Maddie Platter is Peggy's mom. She's voiced by Joanna Gleason.
Yeah.
In this episode, as well as in
Mason,
I
you sound
Remember
funny.
Mono, Maddie is shown to be older, heavier, grayer version of Peggy.
Yeah.
That's in this episode.
Yeah.
In later
She
episodes,
changes though, right?
Yeah. So in later episodes, she's younger, skinnier, and dark-haired. When she works on the ranch, which is a rover runs through it, is the name of that episode.
Yeah.
So this is the first episode, I think, in which we see
Mother Platter.
And they finalized her design. I guess,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got on Weight Watchers.
Because this design isn't final.
Well, maybe when she started
Character
working on the ranch, she got skinny because she's working so much.
She's always worked on the ranch, though. It's always insinuated that she grew up on a horse ranch.
She looks like a grandmother. She's a little thick, but she's in her kitchen cooking, and she got the apron on and the
grew
whole
up on a
thing.
horse ranch somehow. Went to high school in Arlen, Texas.
Sure. Yeah. Well, she commuted. So we see it goes over to Mother Platter. She's got a mixing bowl. She's mixing real hard, and she goes, "Is that Peggy?" Whenever she's shouting into the phone about margarine and not butter. Margarine, not butter. Margarine is just oil, folks. Hank goes, "Yeah."
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean
Go
to
ahead.
interrupt
You're
you.
good.
It says that she appeared in season 1, Square Peg,
Oh, really?
but I don't remember her being in there
don't
at all.
remember that
That was
either.
the penis. She was on the phone with her. Remember, she was talking to her mom on the phone.
Gotcha.
But I don't think we saw her
I
mom.
don't know that we saw her. No.
It might have just been the voice.
I think it's just a reference to her or something. Yeah.
And the Westy Side Story is her reference.
Oh, really?
I Remember Mono was season 2. That's where we first saw her at, period. And then so her character design actually was longer as the old,
Oh, wow.
old
Look
Chunky.
at that. Yeah, there's
she's
two different pictures there of her.
Yeah, that's her.
Huh.
The different character
She
designs
looks
for Peggy.
creepy as shit there.
I want to know what the answer is for that. So
Yeah,
we need to
somebody
get a
give us
hold
an
of
idea there.
Animator. I really got. There's just nobody wants to. It's so hard to get anybody for King of the Hill right now.
Yeah. King of the Hill people, we need you.
The writers especially.
So she says, "Is that Peggy?" Hank says, "Yeah." He goes, "Tell her we use butter in this house." And then they both hang up. He goes, "Oh, okay." And Peggy says, "She got butter, didn't she?"
She got.
Why would you not want to cook with butter?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Why would you want
gross.
to use That's what I'm saying. Why would you want to use margarine?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Now we're at Bill's.
Unsalted butter sticks. Ugh.
Now we're at Bill's house. Yeah, I buy salted butter sticks.
Yeah, I do
and
too.
just in the
Kerry
last
Gold butter.
just in the last year, as my wife started leaving the butter sticks out on the counter so that they're nice and soft.
Have you tried the Kerry Gold before?
No.
You try Kerry Gold butter.
Kerry
It's an
Gold
Irish
butter.
butter, yeah.
Kerrygold butter for all your buttered things.
Yeah, I've been on a cheese kick lately too. I've been ordering cheese off the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are your bowel movements?
Oh, they're great right now. I'm only eating 8 ounces at a time, so.
All right, so here we go. Now we're at Bill's house, and we see Bill. He's very busy in the kitchen. He is wearing his Kiss the Cook apron. He's very happy. We're listening to the radio. The radio is playing Let It Snow by Bing Crosby. He's real busy. He takes out a big turkey pan, takes the top off of it, and the only thing in it is a freaking TV dinner.
That's it.
Inside the big turkey pan. But he hears the radio announcer say, you say it, Bing. The weather outside is frightful. If you're flying out of DFW, bad news. All flights are delayed. Bill gets extremely happy, throws off his apron, and just runs to the car and takes off. So next, we are at gate A22, flight 211 to Billings, and it says delayed next to it. There's a lot of people crowded around that desk. And we hear in the crowd, why in the world? And man, this is ridiculous. I could have taken my damn car. And then the Hill family is all sitting over in the seats waiting, and Hank says they should just let the man do his job. Bobby says, Dad, I know you said to try, but I can't eat. It's salad. He's holding a big bowl of salad. It's like a weird, it looks like like one of those wooden salad bowls, and it's just chocked full of salad sitting in Bobby's lap.
Yeah.
That is just so odd. He goes, Dad, I know you said to try, but I can't eat this. It's salad. Peggy goes, Hank, the boy needs protein or he'll pass out. Now break open that box. Thanksgiving will go on with a one-legged turkey. Hank he is losing his mind over this. He's like, one-legged turkey? I'm not even going to dignify that response with anything but shame on you. Then Connie comes up. Hey, Bobby. And Connie is eating a big bowl of something with chopsticks. And he goes, ooh, Connie, how'd you get that teriyaki beef bowl so fast? She goes, my dad. And then it pans over to one of the restaurants in the food court, and Con is behind the counter, dressed as a cook. And the restaurant is called Walk On In, by the way. And there's a big line there, and Con's like, there you go, ma'am. I'm district manager, pitching in. Crazy day, huh? So we're to assume he just walked behind the counter and just started making stuff. So, hey, good for him.
That's funny.
Peggy goes, go to the front of the line. Mr. Susan News and Phone will give you some food. He goes, hold up, Bobby. Hank says, hold up, Bobby. That ain't right. We're not animals. We'll wait in line like everybody else. Peggy says, Hank, the ability to cut in line is what separates us from the animals. Okay, Peggy. Good job.
Such a jackass. She's probably the type of person to leave her cart right there beside her car when she drives off, too.
Oh, I don't doubt that, yeah. All right, so the employee at the gate over the PA, he goes, okay, people, personal insults and criticisms towards me will not get your plane out any faster. In a few minutes, we'll begin. And then you just hear from the crowd, you're an ass. Somebody just
some random person in the crowd.
You're an ass.
You get a lot of those videos here lately. And you know what's funny about it nowadays when you see it? You know when you see one of those videos, that's the last time you'll ever see that person on a plane.
Oh, that's true.
Nowadays, they just ban them from ever being able to fly. And not just any airlines. They ban them nationally from flying on any flight anywhere in the United States.
Yeah.
You guys remember that wasn't there a couple, I think a month or so ago, remember there was that big, like 1 or 2, 3 like brawls at airports? I forget. I think it was United, or it might have been.
I've seen a couple of videos like that. Yeah, where people are brawling at airports.
The freaking staff. It's like,
people go insane.
Why are you doing that?
Oh, there was one I saw where
we as a society, we are about 10 minutes away from just descending into chaos at any moment. You know, and so anytime any of these things trip off,
love chaos.
That's what happens.
It's great. It's awesome. No, that's what I saw. I saw a video, something similar, where he was talking about where a guy was like arguing with one of the flight guys or whatever about the bag. Yeah. And he kept arguing, and he kind of like started putting his finger in the guy's face. Mm-hmm. And I guess the guy had just had enough that day. I
don't blame him.
But he just leaned down and put his shoulder dead center in that guy's chest, lifted him up off the ground, and just slammed him into the ground. Shit. He was like an ex-football player or something, like a high school, a guy who played in high school, and he just nailed him.
Pick your battles, man.
Took all the wind out of him, and when he hit the ground, he bounced his head off the deal, and he knocked him unconscious.
That's crazy. Okay, so he says...
that's the thing is like, at what point, how much can a man take kind of thing?
Sure.
Because there was one I saw, too. It was a guy in a convenience store just doing his job, and there was like 5 or 6 teenagers that just kept coming in the building and just harassing him and saying, oh, we're going to fight you when you get out here. So he had enough. He grabs his pistol, comes around the counter, and he just starts shooting his gun, not at them, but he was shooting it to scare them, and he didn't get any charges pressed against him.
Yeah.
But he said he feared for his life.
I bet he did.
Like, threatening him.
I bet he did.
8 or 9 teenagers.
Because that's exactly what they intended.
Oh yeah, they wanted him to, get out of his, person.
So the employee over the PA
Yeah.
says, in a few minutes we'll begin, and then we hear from the crowd, "You're an ass." He goes, "We will begin getting you ready, de-icing your plane for
De-icing the
takeoff." And Hank, of course, has to say, "Thank you, sir."
As a longtime flight simulator enthusiast, they actually it's pretty cool on the simulators now. So they have this Flight Simulator 2020. It came out,
Yeah.
and it's like the updated Microsoft,
Right,
98,
right,
95.
right. Yeah, I
You've probably
remember.
seen
Yeah,
all
sure.
those.
We used
So
to
when
have
you're-
them out at the school that I taught. They had like the big versions of them with the actual
yeah,
equipment
TSDI.
and all the stuff.
when it
Yeah,
was TSDI.
Yeah. TSDC.
They still have all that stuff. Yeah, TSDC. They still have all that stuff out there. All them flight simulators.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is when you were flying at altitude, you actually had to use all the de-ice stuff on your plane because
Sure.
your windscreen would start to like ice up whenever you're flying through clouds and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah,
it's real cool,
makes sense.
the simulation part.
So the guy in the crowd next to Peggy goes, "Ruth Ann, I was just in the bathroom next to the pilot. He told me they didn't have enough workers to de-ice the planes, but TWA does, and they're honoring all tickets." And the guy is a Hispanic guy, and so, of course, Peggy, being an asshole, looks at him and goes, "Un momento, señor, yo habla español. Yes, do you know where I can catch the TWA flight?" The guy goes, I think it's gate, and somebody say this for me.
58.
Yeah, 58.
58. Peggy gives him a huge blank look, and he goes, 58.
Yeah.
Because she has no friggin' idea what that means. He goes, she says, "Come on, Hank, you heard the man. We have to go to gates." Say it again.
58.
Andale. And Hank says,
Andale.
that was nothing but
It's
third-hand
spelled wrong.
gossip.
Andale is ANDALE with the
Yeah, but it
tittle
is
over the
Peggy
A.
saying it. So
It's got the little over the A.
So he goes, "That was nothing but third-hand gossip. You're acting like a drunk." What does that mean? You're acting like a drunk.
I don't know what that is. Third hand gossip. I guess you got to be. I guess that's what Hank's saying is that only drunk and
You're
moral
act-
people
you're acting like you're
engage in
drunk.
third hand gossip.
She goes, "Look, Bobby, chock full of chips just opened up a second register." This is as shitty as Peggy gets right here. This is bad because she is not getting her way and not getting to go to the TWA gate. And so she uses Bobby as a decoy to get Hank to go. Right? She goes, "Listen, Bobby, chock full of chips just opened a second register." And Bobby's like, "Oh, God." And he just takes off running. And then she turns to Hank and goes, Hank, Bobby got away." She doesn't run after him.
Yeah.
She doesn't do it. She's just instigating.
That's it, just instigating.
And it is crappy. It is
She's
a
not doing
crappy,
anything
crappy
at all.
thing to do with her child. He goes, "What?" She goes, "Go get him. Go get him." He goes, Bobby, what's the matter with you?" And he finally catches up to him. He runs him down, and Bobby just looks at him very winded and just says, "Cookies." That's it.
Yeah. This is that's kind of mean of Peggy too.
Oh, it's super mean.
It's sick to use your kid against another
Super bad.
the other parent
Yeah.
because that's what she's doing. She's pitting.
Yeah.
She's pitting Bobby to get a reaction
Just to
out
get
of-
her way.
out of Hank.
Yeah. She comes running up. She goes, "Hank, did you hear that announcement? The gate agent said that we're supposed to go to the TWA flight." He goes, "What? All right, let me go ask him." She goes, "No, there's no time. The plane leaves in 10 minutes. So she just made this shit up.
Yeah.
Right? And used Bobby, and then she coerces Hank into going. Now, Dale and Joseph are standing in front of the Admirals Club sign. Now, have you ever heard of the Admirals Club?
Is that like
the-
where the pilots go, or is that or is
Okay.
the Admiral Club like a little you pay to be an exclusive member and you get to eat food and sit around?
I
and
am
shit?
prepared here with information about the American Airline Admiral Club. Your Admiral Club membership also gives you access to more than 50 partner lounges in select domestic and international destinations. One-day pass holders and Citi Advantage Executive Card authorized users do not have access to the partner lounges. They are located in Asia, Europe, Middle East, South America, South Pacific, and the U.S. Now, when you go inside the club, you get complimentary amenities and services. They're available to make your travel more productive and relaxing. You get snacks, shower suites, asterisk, house drinks, business center, asterisk, made-to-order specialties, asterisk, personal travel assistance. Now, I did not look to see what all the asterisks are for, but I'm assuming that it's highly gate kept or something.
Probably, yeah.
Free digital magazines and newspapers. Download your favorite magazines and newspapers to enjoy on your flight. Asterisk. Here is some of the food or drink you can enjoy in the Admirals Club. In the morning, you can get hash brown scramble, tomato and onion feta, scramble, oatmeal, hard-boiled eggs, blah, 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 blah. My favorite is the made-to-order avocado toast compliments of MasterCard. That sounds yummy.
So MasterCard is sponsoring
Compliments
toast and
of MasterCard.
avocados for American Airlines.
Now, in the
What kind of a sponsorship deal is that? How do we get somebody to sponsor?
I don't know.
Can we call? Who is that? What
This is American Airlines.
not American Airlines.
And MasterCard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to call MasterCard and see if we can get them
Probably
to
owned by the same damn corporation at this point.
Yeah, probably. Well, that's
the-
why they do the flight miles and stuff
Sure.
with each other. Yeah.
In the afternoon, you can get mac and queso, asterisk, Caribbean chicken, asterisk, all American spring salad, hearty soups and crackers, blah, 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 blah. And then at the bottom, you can also still get the made-to-order guacamole compliments of MasterCard.
You know what the
It's probably the same one they didn't smear on the toast
probably.
earlier.
You know what the asterisk is for?
What's that?
May contain tree nuts.
Probably so.
I don't know, something like that.
Also offered, you can get fresh brewed La Colombe coffee, barista style espresso, and lattes, handcrafted artisanal tea, whatever. So anyway, you go in there and you get
by
all this stuff.
Brazilian Teamsters.
But you have to, I mean, you got to pay for it. You know, I mean, it's like a service that you pay for, and you can go in. Now, I do have a picture here of Dale going into the Admirals Club.
Rusty.
And there is going into the Admirals Club, and there's a big buffet there. And so it does kind of match up with what they say here. You know?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. All right, so they are going into the Admirals Club. He tells Joseph, here's a roll of quarter-sized aluminum slugs. Go knock yourself out at the video arcade. First thing that went through my head was, how much does a roll of aluminum slugs cost? They have to
More
be
than a roll of quarters.
That's
I
what I'm
would
saying. I
imagine.
think at this point they're probably slightly less than a roll of quarters. He goes, go knock yourself out at the video arcade. And then Joseph takes off and he sneaks into the lounge. He comes in and he says to the girl at the door, he goes, Shackelford, Admiral Rusty Shackelford, I'll keep my coat. And then he just starts going through and talking to the crowd. He goes, Admiral, Lady Admiral. And then he sits down in a chair and he of course pulls out a cigarette and starts to smoke because that's where he thinks he can do it. The lady at the door comes over and goes, I'm sorry, Admiral, there's no smoking in the terminal building. He goes, you're not sorry, and I'm not an admiral. He puts out his jacket, or he puts out his cigarette, puts it in his jacket. He takes cookies, paper, drinks, all this stuff. He just takes a bunch of crap and just leaves.
Yeah, so actually, we'll go ahead and look up the cigarette smoke thing on airplanes.
Yeah.
So,
I don't remember ever traveling when you could smoke on a plane.
well, my dad, see, that goes back to my dad's flight thing. My dad was flying back and forth between England in the 80s, and you could still smoke on airplanes then.
It's crazy. It
My
has
dad
nowhere to go.
remembers around the time that the last air flights were allowed to smoke on.
Yeah.
My dad, I don't know if he got a ticket or fined or what it was, but he lit a cigarette up on the airplane and smoked the whole cigarette when he wasn't supposed to.
Wow.
Because he was like, well, you didn't tell me on my ticket I couldn't smoke. I paid for a smoking seat, so I'm going to smoke.
Now it's mostly feet.
Foot fetid? Yeah,
Feet are the problem on a plane now. People like to take their shoes off. Their feet stink. They stick them between the seats.
That's the
all
thing
of
that gets
shit.
me. The second you put your feet between the
gross.
seats, I go and get a flight attendant. And I'm like, ma'am, you're going to have to tell them they got to keep them sweaty dogs down on the floor away from my shoulders.
Well, I'll be a little passive aggressive. I'll put my seat back because it goes back half an inch. And hope that does it. If that doesn't do it, then I start like elbowing them in the feet or whatever.
No, I escalated immediately. I go and get a flight attendant because that way, when the flight attendant tells them, it's known that there's an issue, so they can't say,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, you could have just told me." Nah, the flight
true.
attendant told you.
true.
But yeah, so the last smoking flight apparently here says was February 25th, 1990.
Wow.
The ban
That's a
was
lot later than I
enacted-
thought it would be.
Yeah, no, for sure. Smoking sections on planes were actually introduced as early as 1971. Before 1971, the whole plane was a smoking section.
Yeah.
But
The whole world.
the whole world, yeah. So
What's that? What'd you say, Mason?
I just remember as a kid going through airports and just seeing these sections
Yeah.
in the airport for
Yeah.
just
They still have 'em.
dozens and dozens of people just smoking.
Yeah.
airports
It's just
still
like a
have indoor
glassed-in
smoking sections in some
area.
airports.
Yeah.
They still
Yeah.
have the indoor smoking.
So now we're at gate B17 for TWA. Just a quick thing about TWA. That was Trans World Airlines. They no longer exist. Trans World Airlines was a major American airline which operated from 1930 until 2001. It was formed as Transcontinental and Western Air to operate a route from New York City to Los Angeles via St. Louis, Kansas City, and other stops. And they were part of Ford Tri-Motors.
Oh, wow.
So they were started to help move people from Ford around between New York City and Los Angeles.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So there you go. Little TWA trivia for you. So we're at the gate, B-17 TWA, and the gate attendant is saying, for the third time, sir, we don't even fly to Montana, which lines up with this, right? The fact that we've got here. Hank says, well, you check it again. My wife heard an official announcement. Tell her, Peggy. And he looks over, and Peggy's just real sheepish. She's got this real sheepish look on her face. So the next thing we see is Hank is pushing a bag cart, and Bobby is riding in it like it's a shopping cart or something. He goes, all right, Peggy, you lied to me about the announcement. That's strike one. Peggy says, what? Oh, don't start with that baseball. That's two, he says. Bobby goes, what happens when he gets to three? She says, he doesn't know. I guess he's never gotten a three.
Yeah.
So we're back at United Gate A22, and Hank says, because there's like all the people are gone. And Hank says, where's everybody going? Did we miss the flight? And the guy at the front says, it's been canceled till tomorrow morning. He goes, canceled? Now you listen to me. I know my rights as a passenger. You don't have any, Hank. The guy says he literally just picks up the thing and starts talking right in Hank's face over the PA. And he goes, attention remaining passengers. We're holding a block of rooms at the Econo Suites. A shuttle van is waiting to take you there. So the next thing we see is all of them standing outside in the rain. They are trying to get into the shuttle van. They're in line for it. Peggy says, nope, there are too many people, not enough seats. Do the math, Hank. She's just so convinced she's always right.
Always.
Hank says, well, if this van fills up, they'll send a second one. And he's still holding the turkey box, of course. I can't imagine what shape that turkey box is in at this point. Peggy says, Hank Rutherford Hill. Is Naive your middle name? Well, no, Peggy, you just said his whole name. She goes, there is no second van and there will never be enough rooms at the hotel. And then Boomhauer, you see him walking through, and he's got a couple of flight attendants with him who are holding an umbrella over his head as they're headed towards the hotel. It's just, it's insanity.
Gotta respect it, man.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah.
until you hear how it turned out later. Yeah.
Also, fun fact, this is the first reveal of Hank's middle name.
Oh, really?
Oh, Rutherford.
Oh, wow. That's very nice. Boomhauer says, hey, yo, man, Hank, man, it looks like damn old labor. We're going to be something went up special, man, on the ground, man. No, I'm saying, man. As he walks off with his two flight attendants, Hank says, the hotel vans are over here. Where's he going? Well, he's going to trying to get busy. Peggy says, Hank, we are fighting a war here called Thanksgiving at the airport. Now, we can either stand here and take it like the French, or we can beat the rest of these chumps to the hotel. Now, come on. Jeez. We can take it like the French, or we can beat these chumps. Bill shows up. Hank, Peggy. And then he immediately slips and falls on the ground. He bites it pretty hard there. He goes, hey, did you hear? The whole airport's shut down. We're stuck here all night. And Peggy says, Bill, get the car. So now we're driving in Bill's car. And they're all sitting like they were before. Bobby says, Mr. Dotry, did your uncle's flight get in okay? He goes, oh, yeah, sure. Peggy's like, so can we meet him? He goes, no, he's back in Arlen. Hank says, then why are you here? He goes, oh, we had a fight. He bit me. We had a fight and he bit me.
Yeah.
Hank says, Bill, I still don't understand why you're actually here. Bill says, do you want to ride or not? And Peggy says, Bill, keep your eyes on the road. And then, of course, they immediately back into or they run right into the back of a dirt-filled truck, and the dirt just goes all over it.
Yeah.
Next, now they're walking in the rain. They're trying to get to the Econo Suites. And Hank just looks at Peggy and goes, strike 2.5. 2.5.
Whatever that means.
We see the Econo Suites and there's no vacancy. Well, you can never get to 3, obviously.
Yeah.
Now we're back in the airport. Dale is looking for a place to smoke. He crawls into a Mercedes, like station wagon that's on display there. You know how they put like the little ropes around things, either in the mall or the airport or something, just to advertise them. He climbs in there and kind of creeps into the thing, and he's in it, and he lights up a cigarette, and then somebody bangs on the window and goes, "Get the hell out of there! There's no smoking in the airport." And so he gets out, and then from the very back, the third row, you see Nancy and John Redcorn pop up. So they're in there getting busy. Now we're back at Terminal A. We're in a cab.
How no one saw that. I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why didn't the guy banging on the window see him screwing in the back?
It reminds me of the scene in the Titanic where
smoking's
Jack,
way more important.
Yeah, where Jack and whatever her name is in the movie, Kate Winslet, are having sex in that car or whatever.
Rose.
In the Rose, that was her name. Yeah, Jack and Rose were having sex in their car on the cruise ship. Remember?
Yeah. Does that happen?
Yeah, they have sex in some car on
Never
a
seen
cruise ship.
Titanic.
Because there's like a scene where like you see the car and like you see the back window of the car all fogged out,
fogged up.
and her
Yeah.
hand goes up on the window and like streaks down the window and leaves a streak in the condensation.
This has nothing to do with this. It's just that you mentioned Titanic, and that brings up James Cameron. I had to watch. I volunteered. We were looking for something to watch last night after we came back from Dallas.
Yeah.
And my wife is a big fan of the Avatar, and so I had to watch 3 hours and 17 minutes of Avatar.
You know what
2.
you should make her watch now? You should make her watch the Laserdisc rip of the 1987 Robert Ballard documentary about the Titanic.
No, because I would have to experience that. I don't want that at all.
And it's actually really good. It's not too bad.
Mason,
Great
do you
documentary.
like Avatar?
No.
That's a
neither
great
do I.
pregnant pause. Good
I just
job.
don't understand. Like, I don't get
I mean,
I don't
they're
get how that
okay.
show do
They're-
billions. I
It's
don't
all
get how
a-
they sell billions of
it's
dollars worth
all
of tickets.
of-
China. That's how.
It all feels
Colors,
it all feels like a video game cutscene to me. All of it. It feels like a cutscene.
Well, I don't necessarily
just-
hate that. I don't want to go into a whole rant about
gross.
Avatar. I like Avatar. I just don't think it's written the best.
No, it's not a great. Anyway, the
It's
second one.
excellent digital
oof.
art, excellent filmmaking.
Sure.
The
It's
first
in terms of
movie is just
storytelling, it's very
Pocahontas.
weak.
The first movie is just
The
Pocahontas.
second one's
I mean,
Free
Dances
Willy.
with Wolves.
Yeah,
Dance with the Wolves. Yeah, you could say Dance with the
And
Wolves
the
too.
second movie is basically that, just with whales.
but it's Free
Yeah,
Willy
there's
also.
Free
Yeah,
Willy,
you get
yeah.
a little Free Willy. Yeah, even at the end, you see one of the digital whales come up out of the thing. And go, and
Oh,
then
there's
fly into-
digital whales in
Oh,
that
yeah,
movie.
there's whales.
I didn't even.
Whales
haven't
that,
even-
whales that can talk to you.
It's ridiculous how out of touch I am
through your
with
mind.
pop
Yeah.
movies. It's
Yeah,
just I
it's-
don't care about pop culture movies.
It was
right
rough.
Now.
I
Movies are
started
just in a weird
I
space.
started to ask her if we could then watch Evil Dead Rise
Yeah.
after that, but I thought that was a little too far. So instead, we watched Shazam: Fury of the Gods,
That's not bad.
which it wasn't terrible.
I'm just tired of the sequels and the remakes and like.
Sure.
Can we get some original?
Well, I did
thought?
enjoy Shazam because of the DC, like all the stuff they brought up from the DC universe, which I thought was kind of cool.
Shazam or whatever is a part of the DC universe, right?
Yeah. Well, and he gets asked to join the team by the folks that work for Waller at the end, which I thought was kind of cool too,
Oh, that's
because
cool,
you
yeah.
got that Waller series coming up and stuff. Did you like it, Mason?
Not really.
Really? I mean, it wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't terrible. It certainly wasn't Dawn of Justice or anything like that, you know. So, I mean, at least it was funny in a couple of places and things like that. So, but I did like to see the guys from Peacemaker show up. I thought that was cool. All right, so we are. He's looking for a place to smoke. He goes into the Mercedes, gets out, sees the people in the back. Right, the guy yells at him. All right, so now we're back at Terminal A. We're in a cab. Hank says, "Well, that was a wonderful waste of time." And then it goes back over to Dale. He has now snuck out of one of the doors. They pan out to show that he is on the tarmac, and the door says no re-entry on the outside of the door. So he's just stuck outside, banging on the door saying, "Admiral in distress, Admiral in distress." Well, you're not an admiral.
You're not an admiral, no.
So now
Nobody in that room was an admiral.
that's right. And so now we're back at the seats outside of the gate, you know, where you wait to board, and all of them are sitting in these seats. And Hank says, now we want to be on the first flight tomorrow morning, so I'm going to set my watch alarm for 5:30. And then we hear over the PA, paging passenger Tom Ganaway, please pick up the nearest white courtesy phone. And you see a guy behind him. He gets up and goes to the phone. And this is my favorite joke of the entire episode. The guy gets up and goes to the phone. He goes, Peggy, I think that's Tom Ganaway. It's like, nobody knows who the hell Tom
Nobody
Ganaway
knows
is.
who
It's
he
just
is.
funny. And so he goes, all right, good night, everybody. And then it kind of transitions into morning. Nobody has gone to sleep yet. They're all still wide awake. The watch alarm goes off, and you hear the guy over the PA at the gate go, good morning and happy Thanksgiving to you all. I'm pleased to announce that Flight 211 to Billings is now boarding. We know it's been a difficult night, but in appreciation of your patience, your headsets will be free. What is that? Good morning.
Right,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
literally
that's
the
it.
thing you
That's
just
it.
said.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Remember they used to
I was trying to see what
freaking
Tom
make people
Ganaway
pay for
was.
that crap?
Yeah, they used to make you pay for a blanket, a pillow, a headset, all that stuff.
Now
Yeah.
they
I
don't-
was an
now they don't
unaccompanied
even-
minor a lot of times flying as
Yeah.
a kid, and so I just didn't get shit.
Those pillows
I
are
think
fantastic, aren't they?
No, I never got a pillow. You never got any of it.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
Now they don't even offer anything.
So if you think of a blanket as this thick, the pillow is this thick. So it was really nice stuff.
And in the early 2000s, those were really shitty headphones. I remember those.
Yeah, they were over the head, in the ear headphones, right? And
They were in the ear, but they were really crappy.
Oh, were they? Yeah, like the ones you get for free whenever you buy a Roku or whatever, the ones that are in the box.
yeah, or you go to the dollar store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody's still awake. We've heard that they're going to all get free headsets, which is such a big thing. Bill is curled up on the floor. I want to know how he's made it to the gate. Because even back then, I remember you had to go through security, and then you were able to do whatever you wanted to.
Yeah, but back then you were able to take people. You were able to walk with the gate.
Take people
with
to the gate?
You were able to go and eat at the restaurants with your families
Wow.
before they got on the planes.
Okay.
At least what I've been told about flights. I flew one time pre 9/11, and that was to get to the United States at 6 years old. That was the one and only time that I flew pre 9/11, and I don't and I've flown since then. I remember when I was 6 years old, just walking through the airport, getting on the airplane. I don't remember a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Post 9/11, you fly, and it's like you got to pretty much get damn near butt naked and stand in X-ray machines just to get on an airplane.
It's rough. Yeah, it's rough now.
It almost discourages traveling because I don't really
It's
like
not
being
stopping
sexually
anybody.
assaulted. Well,
Tell
it
you
stops
that.
me. I don't like being sexually assaulted every time I get on a plane.
So the gate attendant comes over to Luann and goes, Miss Platter, we've oversold the coach section. So since you're traveling on a full fare coach ticket, we're bumping you up to first class. And she's like,
This upcoming is my favorite joke.
So Khan comes up and he's holding a cup of coffee, looking as fresh as a daisy, and he goes, "Good morning, Hills. Yes, I use Gold Club miles to upgrade to honeymoon suite. Best rest of my life." And then Hank says over to him, because he never has a comeback. He goes, "Yeah, well, I was too excited to sleep. I'll tell you what, I'm going to visit my in-laws." That's a big deal. It's like Disneyland.
He doesn't care.
The attendant says, "I'm sorry, sir, you're going to have to check that," referring to the turkey box. He says, "This isn't fair. It meets cubic feet requirements, just oddly shaped." And Peggy goes, "Oh, for God's sake, Hank, there's no time. Just check it." So just real quick, these are kind of the boxes, and I'm showing this so anybody listening, they have these little metal frames that you have to put your boxes or your carry-ons into to make
for
sure
the
they
size
fit.
limits, yeah.
And this one has a little happy luggage thing on it going, "Am I too big?" or whatever on the side.
Yeah.
And so you see him putting it in there. I just wanted to reference, I saw a thing on Reddit not long ago. There's a guy putting his suitcase into one of these things, and it's obviously too big, so he shoves it in there, and then he's trying to get it out the whole time, and then he ends up handing it to the guy with this thing still attached to his bag because it just doesn't fit. So
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. All right,
That is funny. I
So-
think that those it kind of reminds me of those little toys that kids play with. You know, the star, the cylinder.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Does
got
it fit kind of thing? Yeah.
I could just imagine just like a really big, frustrated toddler trying to get a box to fit.
It's true. That's kind of what we all are, is big, oversized toddlers. Now we're on the plane now.
Less poop though.
The attendant, it's according to who you are. The attendant says, "Please hurry up and take your seats. We only have a small break in the weather to take off." Hank says, "Well, they're still loading the luggage." He's looking out the window because he's got a window seat. "Looks like a good crew. Boy, that big gal can really toss a bag. Look at her." Hank and Peggy are both in coach. Luann is in first class. She's being served breakfast, and she says to the flight attendant, "What's that curtain over there? What's it for?"
I want to say this Luann part.
Yeah. She says, "It separates first class from coach." And then Luann says,
I'd like that closed.
That's
She doesn't
funny.
want to see
You know,
anybody.
it's funny.
That's
like
funny.
we can all laugh at that, but you know, if any of us were in that situation, we'd all want the same thing.
Oh, sure.
We don't
Yeah.
want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see
Yeah.
the poor suffering in Coach. Who wants to watch poor people suffering?
Who wants to
Coach?
see poor people in general? Fuck that.
We
Damn
flew.
poors.
We flew Alaskan Airlines to Seattle, and the difference between coach and first class or business class or whatever you want to call it in an Alaskan Airlines flight is a little board that goes between the seats. That's it. They do have a little shower curtain that they pull to, but you can still see everybody and see everything that's going on. There's very little difference. However, there are 2 seats in the row rather than 3 seats, so you do get a lot more room. Yeah.
And then they serve the mice.
Yeah, they get meese.
They get meese.
They get lots of meese. Yeah, Mises to pieces.
Meese-eyes.
Mises to pieces. Okay, so she says she wants that closed. Then we go back to Hank. He's still watching outside. He sees his box. He goes, "Hey, that's my turkey box." Oh, those dogs sure know a good smoked turkey when they smell it. And he sees the bomb dogs over there just barking away at this box. He goes, "Hey, they're not going to forget my turkey, are they? Peggy, get the stewardess." Because everybody has seen the box on the ground. We don't hear any sound or anything, but everybody is leaving, right? And so the box is just sitting there by itself. He goes, oh, no, forget it. Here comes somebody. And then out comes a guy in a bomb squad suit, right? And he's putting up the little barrier so that they can stand behind it when they blow things up.
You know how
I
heavy
love how
those
they
suits
don't
are?
bother. Like in case it was a bomb on it, they don't bother to I don't know, clear the plane.
Right.
In case they're like an actual
Nope.
explosion.
Just going to blow it up right there.
Those suits that they wear, those bomb squad suits. I was in Navy JROTC in high school, and they have EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposable Unit, that's in Abilene. I think it's with the Air Force in Abilene. And we got to try those suits on and stuff like that. They let us put it on. That is the most impossible to move around suit in the world.
Yeah.
And I was in high school, and I felt like I was pretty fit at that time, But
Sure.
then you put this suit on, and you're just like. It just immediately, it's
Oh, you
like an
can't put your
extra,
arms
like
down.
it's like an
Yeah.
extra 100 and something pounds. You can't
Oh, yeah.
really.
It's huge.
They try to get you to do jumping jacks, and you're trying to do it, and you're it's just so heavy. Your
Yeah.
arms go up, and then they immediately just come back down. There's so much weight.
So you see the bomb squad guy come out, and he goes, "Oh, well, here comes somebody." Oh, wait, what? What the heck is he doing? Because you see him attach a thing and then go behind this exploding wall. He goes, Peggy goes, "My God, Hank, that's a bomb squad." There's a bomb? He goes, no, it's not a bomb, it's turkey. And he's just banging on the windows inside the plane. He goes, "It's a smoked turkey, you idiot. Get away from there. Stop that. Oh, please, God, no." And then you hear boom, and you see the thing explode, and pieces of turkey just hit the side of the plane. So, like, to Mason's point, yeah, that would have blown up the plane had it been an actual bomb.
Yeah, it would have.
But they've blown up Hank's turkey, and it's
They blew
very
up
sad.
the turkey, and I don't think that extreme measure would have been taken. Honestly, I
No,
think they would
probably
have. Just because the dog hits on it, don't mean nothing.
Comedic effect.
It
I
is
would
comedic
imagine.
effect. Yeah.
All right, and that is
It was funny though.
That is the second commercial break. You are right. It was fun. That is the second commercial break. We're going to take this, and we will be right back.
Right back.
Hey, Rusty, did you know that you could be putting oil and chemicals in your coffee?
No, I didn't know that.
I love coffee creamer, but I don't think I've ever turned a bottle around to actually see what's inside. Recently I did, and I found out many of my favorite creamers, like especially the one my wife used to use, they contain ingredients I would never intentionally add to my coffee cup, like canola oil,
Ooh,
dipotassium phosphate, whatever
sounds
that is,
terrible.
artificial flavors. I can't take artificial flavors a lot of the time.
Yeah, I'm
A lot
good
of
on
them
any
just
flavoring.
They taste
I
gross.
don't like flavors in my coffee. I like the earth and flavor of coffee.
I love coffee. Don't get me wrong. I do love it. I just I don't like all that crap in my coffee, right?
Yeah, no, it does that.
So let me tell you about Laird Superfoods then. They have better ingredients, amazing taste, and functional benefits. Laird Superfood creamers are crafted from the highest quality, all-natural, real food ingredients. All Laird products are sustainably sourced and thoroughly tested to ensure that you're incorporating the cleanest, finest fuel into your routine. Now, they're all natural. They've got whole food ingredients. They contain naturally occurring MCTs from coconut oil. And everybody tells you coconut oil is good for you. Mm-hmm. There's no artificial flavors, no colors, no additives, no sugar from highly refined corn syrup. So that's a big deal right there. If you take one thing you do every day and make it better, Laird developed his creamer himself to stay powered for a day on the waves. He was a big wave surfer, Laird Hamilton was, and he needed a morning fuel that could allow him to spend the entire day chasing the ultimate wave. So he made this creamer, and it is it's crazy, crazy good. Laird sources high-quality plant-based ingredients globally and puts an emphasis on U.S. sources whenever possible. They aim to source responsibly and sustainably and believe that the food you consume should be as good for the earth as they are for you. They have honest and transparent products and labels. If you try it, you won't go back. They have functional superfood creamers, instant lattes, and prebiotic greens. They have a variety of snacks and supplements full of wholesome plant-based ingredients to keep you charged for wherever life takes you. So to get a deal on Laird Superfoods, I need you to go to zen.ai BWAAA King of the Hill. So that's zen.ai/BWAAA King of the Hill. And your offer code there is BWAAA. So Laird Superfoods makes a better creamer that keeps you powered all day, and it's better for you, the earth, and your coffee. What do you say, Rusty? You want to go get some coffee?
Coffee.
Hey, Rusty.
Yeah.
Did you know that dehydration is the leading cause of daytime fatigue?
Oh, no.
I don't know about you, but like 2:30, 3 o'clock, I just hit a wall almost every day. I was shocked to learn that even mild dehydration can cause headaches, muscle weakness, brain fog, but luckily there's a cure.
Oh, there is?
Actually, I should have said there's a solution. It's called Cure. Cure Hydration. The Cure Hydration is an oral rehydration solution, or ORS, that contains the perfect balance of electrolytes. We know how important that is because plants crave it.
Super important.
And glucose to help your body absorb water and rehydrate quickly. The formula is made with all natural ingredients like coconut water powder and pink Himalayan salt. Whoopee. And it is free from artificial flavors, sweeteners, and preservatives. Cure Hydration is vegan, gluten-free, and non-GMO. That makes it a great option for anyone with dietary restrictions and preferences. The packets that they give you, they're convenient. They're easy to use. You just mix them with water and drink. They're perfect for on-the-go, travel, or anytime you need quick hydration. Hydration is more than just drinking water, Rusty. It is, that's what Lauren Picasso, a lifelong endurance athlete, discovered as she struggled to stay hydrated no matter how much water she drank. I've known people like that. My wife drinks so much water, it's crazy. Lauren found Cure, a science-backed electrolyte drink mix to make hydration easy for everyone. Cure believes that hydration should be simple and effective, but also clean and natural. That's why they only use the highest ingredients and quality plant-based stuff to avoid any artificial or harmful additives. They're committed to transparency and honesty. All of their ingredients are clearly listed on their website and packaging, and they're always happy to answer any questions or concerns. So are you ready to combat dehydration?
Absolutely.
You can try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use your code
BWAAA. Sorry, I blanked.
You're good. For 20% off your order. Try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use our special code
BWAAA
for 20% off your order. Your coupon will be activated at checkout. Try Cure Hydration. Stop drying out. All right, so we are back, and we have just blown up Hank's turkey. Like I said, to Mason's point, turkey hitting the plane means it probably would have been fire had it been a bomb. Yeah.
You know what the turkey hitting the plane reminds me of, or this explosion of turkey?
What's that?
It reminds me of the deep fried turkeys that you get down here in the South. And if any of you want to go look at compilations of what I'm about to discuss, you could type in fried turkey accidents on YouTube, and you'll get a ton of them. So, guys, what happens is when you thaw out a turkey, it is moist. There's a lot of moisture in it, and if you don't let the turkey drain out the moisture properly and thaw it out properly and everything, whenever you go to fry this turkey, you have really hot grease. Anybody that's been in the food service industry knows when you introduce cool water to extremely hot grease, you get this
a lot of popping,
explosive-like reaction. Well, on a small scale. So imagine introducing a full, wet, moist turkey into this grease, and it causes explosions and all kinds of stuff.
The other issue is they don't take into consideration the displacement.
Yeah, so they'll
that
overflow.
a turkey will cause. Yeah,
they'll fill the whole pan up or the pot with grease, and then when they go to set it in, it just pours out over the top. Yeah.
So
displacement. Speaking of displacement,
yeah.
That ship probably displaces a ton of
Sure,
water.
I would imagine. I fry a turkey every year.
I love fried turkey.
I used to fry it in grease. Now I fry it with an infrared fryer, which is
infrared
really
frying.
cool. Yeah, I've been doing that for probably the last 5 years.
Does it taste any different?
It is the best turkey that I've ever had. It gets very crisp on the outside, seals it
We're gonna have
really
to do
well.
that for content around Thanksgiving. Like we'll have to buy a turkey and fry it just to eat.
I'll
for the
just
show.
do the one at my house. I'll do 2 of them.
Oh, and then bring some. Yeah.
So when I did it with oil, one year it was raining outside on Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
And so I had to do it in the little mud room or where we let the dogs sleep, right? We've got a little
Yeah.
dog room, mud room, whatever you want to call it. We've taken a porch and we closed it in. And so that's where I would do it. And that year, obviously, either I had some water on the turkey or a displacement problem or something, and I almost burnt my house down. So,
How do you get the water completely out of the turkey? Do you like rag it up, like put it in like towel?
yeah,
let
you
it
have to
dry out?
you have to dry it out as much as you can. Now, the nice thing is with this infrared, I don't have to worry about it.
'Cause it
I
doesn't
just put it
matter.
in there. The infrared takes care of it. It kind of seals in the top, and it's just heat this whole
Steams
time.
it all up.
I'm telling you, man.
Does it come out crispy like the
yes,
skin?
super
real
crispy. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I can take a 12 to 14 pound turkey, and I can cook it in 2 to 2.5 hours. It's fantastic.
We got to send me the link to wherever this
Yeah,
device is.
it's a
That
great
sounds
thing.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I
it's
want
a
that. 'Cause
fantastic
I want to
fryer.
do ducks.
I think
wanna fry ducks.
I think I paid $70 for this thing like 5 years ago, and I'm still using it.
Yeah. You have to send me a link to
it's
whatever
really
that is
great.
or the brand
Yeah,
name
it
of
does
it.
a
'Cause,
wonderful job.
I want to fry ducks.
Watch out, ducks.
coming for you.
Okay, so we are back at the gate. The PA announcer says the bad weather has moved us back and we've lost our window for takeoff. Hank is upset. He says, you blew up the wrong man's turkey. Now get me to Montana. I got 10 hours to buy and smoke a bird. The guy at the gate says, well, DFW is completely shut down, but he's looking at his computer and he goes, but Love Field is getting some flights out and there's one to Montana that leaves in an hour. Hank says, Love Field's clear across town, which it is. The guy says, airport bus is leaving in 5 minutes, your only chance. And then another passenger kind of comes up and overhears it and he goes, did you hear something? What did he say? Hank, this is one of the only times you'll see Hank try to pull something off, right?
Trying.
He says, nothing. Looks like we're going to be here a while. Dang airlines, you know. The guy just super sad says, yeah. And he goes back to his family. His whole family is sad. Like he's got little kids and his wife is sad and the whole thing. Hank just says to Peggy, all right, get your bags. Let's start walking. Bobby, Luann, follow me. Peggy goes, Hank, where are we going? He goes, just walk slowly. Walk. And then he goes, run. And then they start running to the bus to Love Field. Peggy says, Hank, they're just jammed butt to gut in there. There's no room because they get there. And that whole bus is just full.
Cram-packed.
Right? It's cram-packed.
It looks like
full.
they're in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
I loved how as they were slowly walking, no one else is reacting.
Yeah. Nobody reacts.
Nobody
Yeah.
cares.
Mm-hmm.
And they take off running, and still nobody really is paying attention to what they're
Nobody's
doing.
really paying attention. Yeah.
Because not everybody is looking for a flight to Billings, Montana. There's probably 30 people in that airport going to Billings, Montana.
So here's the part I was talking about where we figure out that Hank does know what Peggy does. He goes, she says, Hank, they're jammed butt to gut in there. There's no room. He goes, you said this was war, right? Well, I'm tired of fighting fair. We're going to do it your way, Peggy. The dirty way. It's like, holy shit. That's a big change for Hank. And so the doors on the bus start to close. He jams a bag into the doors to keep them from shutting. He goes, hold on, I got 4 more. Bus driver goes, you can try. And then they get crammed in, and then the doors start to shut, and they can't shut all the way. And he looks at Bobby and goes, Bobby, I need an inch. Bobby just goes, he like sucks in all the air. And then the doors finally close. Hank says, Montana, here we come. And he's like right there at the door. And then he looks out and he sees this poor sad family just standing there, and they just got the puppy dog eyes. They are so sad that something's happening and they're not being able to do it. He goes, wait. And then the next thing we see is they let the family on the bus. Everybody from the Hill House is off, and they're just kind of waving at him. He goes, y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. And so now we're back in the airport. Peggy is on the phone. Everybody's in the food court. By the way, in the food court, we can see the bagel bin, Hoagie's Gyros, and the sub room.
The sub room. That would be a controversial name for a sandwich at the moment, anyway.
I think it was sub room. All I saw was sub RO, so I assumed it was sub room.
I think that Titanic thing was the worst thing to happen to Subs since Jared got busted for pedophilia with Subway. That was a good joke, though.
That's a rough joke. Yeah.
That's a good one, though.
A little too early. Bobby says, when I gave up my place on that bus, I assumed the Ford food court would be open. And so that's why he's sad. Peggy, she gets off the phone finally, and she goes, well, I told my mother we weren't going to make it, and she was disappointed. And Luann, honey, I'm sorry, but your father had to go back to the oil rig. For those who don't know, that's what they call prison.
That's what they call prison, just to make everything better for her. Because, of course, she didn't know that Daddy's in jail.
She says there were no flight delays in Montana, and then of course Luann just starts sobbing. She goes, the temperature's been in the mid 70s. They went swimming, and she just starts crying. And Hank looks up and goes, oh, hey, Boomhauer, I'm sorry you didn't get to see your mother. Boomhauer comes over and goes, hey, man, you want to talk about sorry, man, the dang old steward is born again, talking about a damn cold shower. So that's the way it turned out for Boomhauer.
Yeah, dang old Boomhauer. He gonna get it in anywhere, ain't he?
Everybody starts gathering at the big round table in the food court. Con comes up. He's got Dale behind him, and Dale's just shivering. He goes, 4 hours stuck on tarmac. Look out the window. What do I see? Frozen gribble. Dale says, only thing that kept me going was my will to smoke again and the ashtrays from an Alitalia flight.
Alitalia.
Alitalia was an Italian airline which was once the flag carrier and largest airline of Italy. The company had its head office in Fiumicino, I don't know, metropolitan city of Rome, the capital.
Yeah, I got a little bit of information for him. So it was once the largest airline, like you said.
Doesn't exist anymore, right?
No, it does exist. Well, maybe not anymore.
I think it went out of business.
But like I said, it was once the flagship and largest in Italy. It used to be ran by the Italian government from 1946 until it was privatized in 2009.
Sure.
So they struggled with profitability during that time as a private company, and they tried to sell it and everything else to all kinds of parties and all kinds of other stuff. But the government took it back over in 2020, and they ceased operations after years of unprofitability.
Yeah.
In August of 2021, they announced it would cease operations on October 15th, 2021, and that passengers who had tickets for later flights could reschedule an earlier flight or request a refund. So Alitalia sold its entire operation to ITA Airways, a newly formed state-owned flag carrier. So ITA
they went
Airways,
from state-owned to not state-owned and then back to state-owned.
And there were so many problems during the phase between when they were private that all of the financial woes and stuff couldn't be saved by the government. So the government then, in return, sold it to ITA Airways. Funny fact, ITA Airways was only founded in November 11th of 2020, and it was commenced operations on October 15th, 2021, the day the other one ended. So I'm guessing that the Alitalia, it was a reorganization, and they became this ITA Airways.
That's crazy. So next thing we see is Redcorn and Nancy walking up, and he goes, well, there you are, Nancy. I've been searching all over the airport for you. Oh, Dale, I searched for you as well. Okay, great. Good cover. Luann looks around. Everybody is sad. She goes, this is the worst Thanksgiving ever. And then here comes Hank's Rudy speech. He's, come on, everybody. We got a lot to be thankful for. It doesn't matter if we're in Montana or California or Miami. The important thing is we're all together. So let's have our Thanksgiving dinner. Now, I've got a stick of gum. I was saving it for the airplane, to pop my ears. And you see the big round table, and he throws the big stick of gum there, the one stick of gum. Con comes up and says, I have some leftover pizza from Papa Capone's. And then Boomhauer says, I got them dang old airplane nuts, man. I mean, I got bags of them, man. He pulls out a big, like Santa-sized sack of airline peanuts. So he's got those to offer. And then Bill, from out of nowhere, just like behind the wall, comes out and goes, I'm sorry. Dale first goes, I have a can of yams. I don't know why he's carrying around a can of yams.
Yeah.
And then Bill kind of comes out of nowhere and he goes, well, I got some turkey and all the trimmings. Actually, I don't have anything. I don't even have an Uncle Stan. I made him up.
I think that would be a great
Hank's
opportunity
I kind of figured
for
that.
a cartoon, like a Thanksgiving themed cartoon, or not even a Thanksgiving themed cartoon. You could use a turkey as the antagonist or whatever, the protagonist, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And Yams would be like his spinach for Popeye. So it would be just
he eats the yams.
So
and
it'd
then he
be
gets
this
strong.
turkey.
You can't cut his neck.
Yeah, and you can't cut his neck or whatever, but it would be a
I feel
turkey.
like I've seen that cartoon.
Maybe, but it would be a turkey on a farm with a bunch of other farm
Sure.
birds.
Sure.
And
then in the end,
he
the
has
pig
like
gets it.
contention with like the guineas and the chickens and stuff. So
Guineas.
when he gets in the fight with them, he eats the kind of like Bluto and
Yeah.
Popeye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's his sea hag?
Oh, the sea hag would be a hen. It would be a hen.
Sure.
And that's why he's fighting with the chicken who's Bluto, and the chicken's this big puffed up, big like gamecock rooster or whatever.
Watch for
Very
our
good.
coming cartoon called Tom the Turkey.
Tom the turkey.
He goes, yeah, I don't even have an Uncle Stan. I made him up. Hank says, yeah, I kind of figured that. Dale says, very sad. Lou Ann says, I guess cold pizza's better than nothing. Hank says, it doesn't have to be cold. And he holds up that key that we saw at the beginning on his key ring. And he goes, okay, as tradition, I will now carve the Thanksgiving Day pizza. And he's hooked up the propane tank to something, heated up the pizza. Everybody's around. And this is kind of the way that Thanksgiving episodes always end. Everybody thankful for whatever they have at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Peggy says, wait a second, with all the sugar packets and these pats of margarine, some leftover pizza crust, and that propane grill, I can Jerry bake us up a Brown Betty. Hank says, well, you do make the best Brown Betty. She goes, yes, I do. And that's it. We get to the credits. We're done. Thanksgiving.
And that is it. That is a Thanksgiving episode.
The only thing we hear is after the credits, you hear Bill go, I hate Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
It's a good episode.
Yeah, it was a really good episode.
Jam-packed.
And you probably won't hear us talk about this episode on Thanksgiving.
No.
I like that we didn't do that. I really think that a lot of shows,
we just follow through it.
They
Yeah.
pull out specific episodes. I know we had talked about doing it, but I kind of like that we didn't.
No, we're just going through them one by one, man, and what you get is what you get.
67th episode, I believe. That's what this
really?
is of King of the Hill. 67th episode. So we've done 67 episodes of episodic content.
That's great. That's great. And that's not counting Fridays and extras and all that
that's just
stuff.
Monday. That's just the Mondays.
Because we're in the 100. We're well over 100 now at this
We're
point.
close to 200, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think we're like 170 maybe.
Who's
140.
All right. You want to tell people where they can find us if they want more?
That's a lot of hours. I think
That
that's
is a
like
lot of
100. It's probably over 300 hours at least of recording.
Yeah, you're making me tired.
Well, usually when I say something about 300 hours, it's usually a video game I'm talking about how much time I've
That's
sunk
right. Yeah,
into because I've
that's
got
true.
thousands of hours in some games. But so you can find us at boakoth.com, BWAAAKOTH.com. We also have a Patreon, right?
Patreon
You wanna
will
tell them about
start
that?
in July, and we are in July. So I would look for it in the next week or so. It's about getting these kind of notes and the
Yeah.
extra content and stuff
It is
up.
there though already, right? Is it
it's-
available for them to go ahead
I
and get
believe
signed
it
up?
is. As of this recording, it should be. Yeah. If you want to just go support us, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be great. And
there are costs that go
there's
along
two
with
tiers.
a show like this.
Yeah, there's a 2-tiered system or whatever right now with the potential for us to
Well, I think
add a third
I
bigger
think
package.
I think we're going to add a small tier where if they just
Or a
want to
smaller
support us,
tier.
they can add like $3 a month or whatever, and that would just really help us out. And then there's going to be a $7 and a $10 tier. At the $10 tier, you're going to get all the notes, all the video content, all the other stuff.
And then there's going to be a $3,000 a month
That is not true. Please do not listen to that.
subscription.
That's not a thing. Yeah. Well, we may have a couple that are one-offs where you can pay this and we'll do a one-on-one with you, or we'll do a group call or something like that. Again, like
Also,
I said, I'd
we're
like to
setting
do
up
the
a
one,
cameo.
but I'd like to do the one where
Hey, we should do that. That's an idea, really. That's a funny ass idea.
I'd like to do the one where we get all the fact finders and Mason and everybody on like
Yeah.
a Zoom call or something. I think that'd be kind of cool. People would love to talk to them, I'm sure.
If you guys think that we should do a cameo where me and Mike tell your family happy birthday and y'all can pay for us to do that,
$18.
yeah, just go ahead and let us know if that would be something you'd be interested in, because I think that would be comedic as hell. And I think that's a part of this is trying to find as much comedy as we can in this.
That's true. That's true.
This life.
All right. Well, you told them the website.
KOTH.com.
That'll
You get
take
all
you-
of our links there. That'll take
Yep.
you to that website. Or you can go to roguemedianetwork.com, go to the search bar, and
Search
type
for
in
BWAAA.
BWAAA.
Yep. Thanks to Mason for
Yep.
producing. Thanks to Rusty.
Awesome.
Thanks to me.
Thanks to everybody.
We appreciate you guys being here, and we'll talk to you again on Friday.
Wimatanye.
Wimatanya, indeed. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.